emojis in dating app conversations. How do you feel about them, Emily?
I mean, like one emoji is okay. If you have more than 2 emojis in a message, I'm like, wow. What are you? Why? I don't know.
What if the message is all emojis?
It depends. Are they cleverly arranged emojis?
Oh, okay.
Is it like a eggplant peach? I don't know. You know, that says enough right there.
So what are your top 3 most recently used emojis?
Smiley, blushy face, meditating, and surprised. The one that's like.
Oh yeah. That's my 4th one as well.
Mine is the flat eyes with the flat mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of disappointment in your life.
And then the teeth one.
Yeah.
Which is actually, now that I'm like, oh fuck. And then this one. I really did evaluate my fucking shit.
Gosh.
Oh, and then another
dives.
sad one.
Another sad emoji?
Just
Like
I think I express sadness and uncomfortability with.
Oh, you don't know how to express your sadness in words, so you use emojis.
I know. It's
Yeah.
It's either that or very long poems.
No.
Welcome to today's Casa De Thinking, right? Welcome to Casa De Thinking, and we have our host for today, Emily, right? Hello, Emily.
That's right. Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have our guest today, Greg Kyle, 2 first names. All right, that's your stage name, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's my real name too.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
I just picked
Oh, okay.
2 the whitest names.
Nice.
Yeah, the whitest names for the whitest boy.
I guess I just check it.
Yeah. You know, so I'm really glad you were at the show the other day, so I could use you as an example for my my gringo contrast. I just say a couple of white guys right here. There's a difference between me and Greg. But thank you for joining today's Casa De Thinking, where we're gonna explore dating and online dating and everything in between. Yeah, Emily, you're gonna be our host today, so I'll
Yes.
probably have you run the show, and I'll populate some questions here. But since it's a trial run, we're, I don't know if you've ever hosted a podcast, but you did great last time.
I have not.
No, well, you did great last time. Well, you were communicating with women, so I know that this is the enemy in front of you, right? So you have to, maybe a little. It'll be a little more difficult,
Yeah.
but
It's okay. I am friends with men.
That doesn't sound convincing at all.
Like,
It sounded
not.
very forced.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah.
so maybe I can kick us off with a couple of things, right? So you both are single, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So there are some, would you say that there are some red flags when you're dating?
Yes.
The opposite sex.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is my wife going to see this?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you should have used a different name.
This is how we're gonna find your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna put this episode of the podcast on your Tinder profile.
Perfect. Thank
Hell
you.
yeah.
You're welcome. So, what are your red flags?
This is going to sound ridiculous, but if they don't jaywalk, it's a huge red flag. There's been 2 relationships I've been in where the person did not jaywalk.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't go well.
Yeah. Did you meet him online?
No, in real life.
person, IRL,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And what do you think that said about them, really, then?
I don't know. It's like if it's late and we're like walking from one bar to another and it's totally deserted street, there was an unwillingness to cross the street. It's like we need to wait for the cross, which irritates the shit out. We're just wasting our lives. And maybe that's where it got down to. I was like, why are we just standing here? This is the dumbest thing.
Sounds like Emily has a lot of thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, that could be an indicator of they don't like to take risks in life. Which a little bit of risk taking is good, healthy, you know, a little adventure. Like you can't cross the street.
That's very validating. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know everyone thinks I just hate men, but I will validate you if I think it's, you know, reasonable.
That's why I came here today to get validated.
To get validated. This is about telling Greg he's a good boy.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's what every day I wake up. I'm like, I gotta find people to tell me I'm a good boy.
Well, like, thank you, Greg, and like, let's go keep with this the red flags conversation, but I want to pepper it in, and we'll start with we asked ChatGPT, right? What are some red flags and with women dating men, when dating men, right? And tell me if you agree, okay, Emily?
Okay.
So here's some common ones. Lack of respect. Like if a man consistently displays disrespectful behaviors towards you or others, such as being rude, dismissive, or belittling, it's a major red flag.
Yeah, of course. That's like for everyone. That's not just related. That's like friendship too. That's like, do I want to be around that person? That's acquaintances. Red flag. Like,
nice.
I will just no longer. If you can't like respect another person, I don't even want to be around you.
Yeah. Then we have controlling behavior and excessive jealousy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You're like, let me just read off all of the abusive behaviors. Like,
Have you ever? Well, let's pause with these three because there are more. Do you have any anecdotes where you've like experienced this lack of respect or controlling behavior or excessive jealousy?
oh yeah, I dated someone who would like constantly accuse me of cheating, and I never did. And so it was just like, it was a way of like using jealousy to control my behavior, because then I felt like I needed to like prove myself more, and I felt like I had to make more of an effort, and he got away with less because he was like, I just think you're cheating on me. And I was like, oh, well, now I have to like make it up to you with this fake scenario you created in your head that hurt your own feelings, and now I have to make it up to you.
Was this guy white?
Yes. Yeah.
Objection.
Objection.
We'll get into the racial differences later on this show. But okay, we have a few more. Poor communication skills, inconsistency or mixed signals, and lack of accountability. What do you think?
Yeah. That's also just like person. Just like,
Just a horrible person.
yeah. You're like, would you date a bad person? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Desperate, are you?
Yeah.
Maybe you're young enough, you know? Like,
Truly. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks
Validated.
For validating me. Yeah, this is awesome.
I told
couldn't
you,
say
yeah.
anything.
I'm not a total bitch. I just think it's funny to like, you know, lean into your toxic behaviors. Like, I think if you're aware of your toxic behaviors, just, you know.
No excuses.
You know, if you try and suppress it, it's going to come back for real. But, you know, you just got to like sprinkle it in a little and be like, oops.
Vent it a little bit. Yeah, no.
You know?
what would you say some of your toxic behaviors that you display are?
Gosh, I don't know. Sometimes I just say things that I don't actually mean, but like at one point I might have meant them in my life. Now I have to think, because I know I've said like a few things already where I'm like, fuck these men.
you branded yourself. It's just like just super aggro.
Yeah.
It's really
It's like the aggro behavior, but I feel like my aggro behavior is a reaction to like the aggro behavior of men.
I am not blaming you.
Who hurt you, Emily?
Lots of people.
Yeah. Would you say either of you have ever had your heart broken?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take to come back?
I cry every day, Arturo.
Yeah?
It's never coming back.
Well, you know, you're connected to your emotions. That's good.
The one that got away is still.
Yeah. No, it took like several. It's one of those things that's like, oh, every time I reflect on it, it's still like, not great, you know?
Yeah.
But like a month till I felt not.
How long was the relationship?
There never was a relationship.
No, there was.
This
But
was the barista at
We were like-
Starbucks.
we were friends for a while, and then she was dating somebody, and then we were like kind of doing a thing, and then officially dating for like half a year.
Yeah. I hear you. Well, that's good. Like they what's that rule? Like 1 week for every 6 months you've been together. I got it from a movie. I forget what movie that was. How about you? How long did it take you to come back? Or you haven't come back yet?
No, I've definitely come back
Yeah.
better and stronger.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, like
Fight someone. I swear to God.
Literally, I will.
well, go ahead.
I feel like, I feel like it took me like a month to recover from. Actually, no, I don't think I've like fully recovered because it's like I'll like still have anger.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, in the same place I was. Like right after the breakup, I like stayed with my parents for like a week because he had to get out of the house, and I was like, I'm not gonna be here while you're moving out. But yeah.
You don't want any spatulas?
No.
Yeah. You were not able to control your anger, you would say, while he was moving out, or what was the emotion?
No, it was more like I was like worried about being around him because he couldn't control his anger.
Oh, wow.
Like the last fight we had, he was like slamming doors. He had like broken things in front of me, like small things, but still, it's like, I don't like where that's going.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, that's scary. Would you say that you have a habit of dating angry men?
No, I wouldn't say he was an angry man. I think his, he didn't react well to not being told he was a good boy all the time.
It feels great once you have it.
I know.
I've done it.
Yeah, it's like I told
that.
him he was a good boy for so long, and then he like actually wasn't that good of a boy, and I was like, let's actually try to be a good boy, and he was like, no, that's hard. And I was like, it is hard, but
Can you please just continue to discuss men like they're dogs?
yes,
But like
100%.
house dogs, like this is delightful.
Hell yeah. Your dog misses you.
I know.
It's okay. He'll be okay. He's a good boy, right?
He is a good boy.
Like, what would you say? You guys have both been online dating, right? Do you remember of like any hilarious examples of overly embellished online dating profiles or things that you see in online dating profiles that you're like, yeah, no?
I feel like the car photos, like why?
Oh.
In the car, like in the
car, not outside.
Yes, like literally, it's a selfie in the car, and this is the expression. It's like at a bad angle too. I'm like, just that's not the photo. Like bad selfies. I'm like, what? Like you're trying to attract a person right now.
So like I think you get 5 or 6 pictures. What are the 6 pictures that any guy should have on their dating profile?
I don't know, like a picture at a wedding. Those are always, like
Okay.
usually you look good when you go to a wedding, and hopefully like people like you enough to take at least one picture of you while you're there.
Yeah. Fair.
Like hopefully you have friends. I don't know.
Well, if they're at a wedding with somebody else, should they put that picture up?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
At least crop them out.
Yeah, with AI tools, you should be able to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, if you crop the person out, it's like I feel like that's fine because like obviously we're all adults. We've gone to weddings with people that are no longer in our lives.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. How about you, Greg? Can you think of any things on a profile you're like,
Something that I see repeatedly, and I wrote a joke about it because it bothers me, is when the phrase, if my dog doesn't like you, then I'm not going to like you.
Emily has. If I feel like Emily with that look has that on her profile.
No, I don't have that on my profile.
Have you had it?
But also, it's like if my dog doesn't like you, it's not gonna work because my dog is gonna go with me places.
Okay, so I this is interesting. Is the idea that like it's not going to work because
I'm not
can't have
gonna
my dog
choose.
be angry
I'm
at
not
you.
gonna choose you over my dog.
Okay.
I love my dog way more than any potential relationship.
But it's not you're trusting your dog's evaluation of this person.
No, my dog's an idiot.
Okay,
Like I
all
love
right.
him, and he, he's not he doesn't have a judge of character. He's like, I like how you smell or look or whatever. It's like, if my dog doesn't like you, I'm not like, oh, you're a bad person. I'm just like, I can't have my dog around you, and I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone when I can't have my dog around.
That makes total sense. I think it's the using your dog as an emotional compass thing that bothers me. Like, your dog licks its own asshole. There's no reason to follow your dog's advice.
I would say that's a fair point. What do you?
I mean, if it's like a German Shepherd that's been like trained, or like one of those dogs that are like smart. If it's a smart dog, then yeah, okay, maybe. Because some dogs are like trained to sense danger and whatever. My dog, no, he's not at all. He's not that dog.
So there needs to be like a mutual evaluation of the dog and the human. Like, how intelligent is your dog?
Yeah.
And does he trust me?
Yeah. But then that's a red flag because it's like you think your dog's smarter than you. And do you want to date someone who's like dumber than their dog? Which I probably should have.
Pets.
All right, so.
Yeah, would I trust his judge of character? I don't think so.
What do
He's
you
a
have to
good
say?
boy, but not a smart boy. Maybe he's a smart boy. I downplay his intelligence.
You can tell by looking deeply into their eyes.
Yeah, what do you see when you look deeply into Harold's eyes?
It's like the heart of a poet.
It's like his mouth
As
is
he
not.
licks his penis.
Not math smart, but like, language arts smart.
Oh, yeah. Truly. There you go.
So how can you tell if somebody's online profile is a complete work of fiction? Like if they're just pretending to be a person that they're not. Have you ever had that happen?
Into that? Yeah, no. Every person has like been the person that they said they are.
Okay, so like they're not pretending to be somebody they're not. You haven't run into that.
Sometimes they'll use pictures from like 10 years ago, and it's like, babe, you've gained 50 pounds. Like, let's be for real right now.
Yeah.
I've never understood that strategy because at some point you do have to meet this person in real life.
Yeah.
And they're not going to fuck you if they're not into it. You know?
Yeah, they're like, wow, your hairline was a lot different in your profile.
It's not like you just instantly are assured a relationship because you showed up to the date. There's a whole other process.
So would you date a bald woman, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Would you date a bald man?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, you mentioned hairline, so I was just confirming.
I'm just saying, be upfront about the hairline.
That's fair. Yeah. Be honest with who you are, right? Like.
Yeah.
How many inches from the top of your eyebrows does your hair start?
Well, I also, like, and I've seen this now that I've been off the market for about 3 years, right? But like now that I've gone on, it seems like some of the same tropes are the same. Like whenever you see only face pictures, what does it mean?
Either that they don't have a torso, or that it's
They don't have legs.
Or they're
You showed up and they're a paraplegic.
oh my god. Yeah, that's one that fuck.
Yeah, right? Harold, sit down. I swear to God.
in my experience, sometimes it's also that they're a fatty Bombaddy, you know?
Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure.
You know, and no problem. Listen, I'm a fatty Bombaddy myself, but be fucking honest with whatever the fuck you're putting out there, you know? Like, and one of the things that I see is like, and this is kind of like in my set of work that I'm joking through, right? It's like, if you're a fatty Bombaddy, don't put in your queries, take me out to food, right? Like, or should you?
What do you mean?
Like if you're a fatty Bombaddy, it's like, oh, one of the best things that I love is pizza. You know, it's like,
Okay, and?
I don't know. I think
There's nothing wrong with being fat.
I disagree. I come from a time where, you know, like where body negativity actually got you results because, listen, if like I find that a lot of people, you know, and like if you're fatty Bombaddy, you're happy being that, fine, right? But I think like I always say this, right? Like we're the best ones to lie to ourselves because we know each other our best. And a good place to know whether you're lying to yourself is we'll make rationalizations. If you make a rationalization, oh, yeah, well, you know, like I'm beautiful, like fat is beautiful. And maybe if you think that, that's fine. But is it, if you're telling it to yourself, does this make you feel better by saying it. And whenever we rationalize things away that make us feel better, that's, I think, where people should take caution. But that's exactly the place where you end up lying to yourself. You know, like, for example, it's like, oh, yeah, no, it's like, oh, no, yeah, I didn't want that thing anyway, right? Are you saying it just to make yourself feel better? And that lets you all of a sudden like take it out of your mind. All of a sudden you no longer have to face that thing because, oh, you've already come up with a solution for it. And I would argue that most people, you know, if you took a poll that are fatty Bombaddies, if they had a choice to immediately not be, they probably would choose to. But it is in the rationalization away that makes you not have to face that reality because it's fucking hard work and change is difficult. And I think when we rationalize our stuff away and lie to ourselves, well, then we all of a sudden took away any chance for us to help because if we rationalize ourselves, oh, this happened for this reason. I told like my mom, I use my mom as an example. She used to say she'll be like, oh yeah, no, like let's say she was going through like a divorce, and you know she's in a vulnerable position, right? And she's saying, oh no, this won't be that way, and like something about divorce, he won't behave this way. I'm like, do you know that for sure, or are you telling yourself that because you're scared or you want to be afraid? Because if you're telling yourself to make that sure, then you might overlook things that you need to address right there. But if you know that this is a challenge, then face it and take whatever action that you need. And I guess this is what I come to is like, if you lie to yourself, then you don't give yourself the chance to take action for whatever it is that you actually want. You know? And so, you know, I mean, listen, fat is not a protected class, okay?
That's
like,
fine. I mean, I guess it's like, I don't know, like preference, like
You like fatty Bombaddies?
I would rather date a fatty Bombaddie than someone who had like 5% body fat.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's like they look.
Is that hypothetical, or have you dated a fatty Bombaddy recently?
I have.
Okay.
My ex was he was a little chubby.
Yeah.
What's your ideal percentage? If you had to put a very specific number.
No,
with
no.
Why not? It's preference. You know?
I don't think, because that's not what I'm like looking at. It's like, look at the whole picture.
Okay. 17.8%. Anything above like 17.9, no. Game over 17.6.
Do you know what your percentage is?
Like 57 or something? 800. I don't know.
800%.
I don't know any of this
800% fat.
I remember in elementary school.
I actually do know mine. It's like right on this fucking paper.
Oh shit!
That's funny.
Yeah.
I feel like but if you're like a little chubby, like I'm like, okay, you enjoy life, and if you're like very thin and into working out, and like I'm like, okay, you don't enjoy life.
Yeah, well, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, but I think in the swipe marketplace where like the intricacies or the nuance of what the person is actually like, when you're swiping through matches, I think that puts you at a disadvantage. Because
like
people are not knowing your personality.
Oh.
You're just saying, oh, not fatty, you know, like, because this is one realization.
Well, I mean, this is where I think it's different for men, because men are just like, oh, let me look at the first picture. No, yes. Like,
that's an overgeneralization. Is that what you do, Greg?
How many profiles do you read what people's
I read all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because guess what? Like the pictures are the thing that will get you in the door, but like in those maybes, right? Because there is the people very attractive, the people like most people look average, I would say, right? And it isn't the averageness where it's like, okay, well, what is that? It's the multiplier. Does that bring you up or does that bring you down? Like, even if it's somebody really attractive, I'm still gonna read the profile because it might bring you down and be like, fuck this bitch. I don't want to deal with that. Like, are you kidding me? This like just seems like such a pain in the ass. This person is fully into themselves, and if they're fully into themselves, there's no room for you. You know, like.
Damn, that was kind of wise.
That was.
Well, I am an old fuck, you know, like, you know.
Do you click through every picture, like on a profile? That sounded very accusatory. I'm more curious.
If it's gonna be like, if I'm potentially gonna like message the person, yeah.
Okay.
What characteristics do you like assess besides the selfie pic, which we already identified? Whether you're gonna message this person, you message them, or you wait for them to message you.
It's like both.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty, you know. I'm pretty bold.
It's very empowering.
not
Yeah, it's very
really.
empowered woman. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's like, what is your what is your personality about? Like, if it's about sports, like, we're not gonna get along. I don't care. I will not be.
Yeah.
Watching.
You won't let them take you to a Durham Bulls game?
I would go to a game. I like going to a sporting event like every once in a while. Like, that's fun, you know.
Yeah.
But I will not be like watching the game with you on
Sports
Saturday. Yeah. It's not me. But it's like fine if you're like if that's like your entire personality, which I feel like I've encountered a lot of men where it's like that's what they know how to talk about, and I'm like, we just don't have anything in common right now.
Sports is like that language that I think a lot of guys use when they don't know how to like express any sort of vulnerability or emotion.
Great. Tell us more.
Interesting. So now I'm like, it's not just like me being petty. It's like actually a red flag. They don't have emotional intelligence if all they can talk about is sports.
Yeah. There's like certain times when you're hanging out with your bros, your guy friends,
Yeah.
and then you hit like a lull. Like the friends I have are very emotionally mature and willing to be vulnerable. But there's been occasions when you're like hanging out, and anytime the conversation like steers anywhere towards intimacy or like vulnerability, immediately is like, how's that game? Like, did you see that game last night? And it's just this deterrence, like, and we talk about basketball for then 30 minutes, and it's fine, we're communicating, but it's like, are we? Or are we just talking about dunks? Like, I love dunks, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So sports, how about you, Greg? What would you say is one of the things if you see a profile of girls that's into, you're like, yeah, not gonna work? Or are there any things that you would say no to?
If there are references or pictures of brunch, it implies that I'm gonna have to wake up on a Saturday or a Sunday.
There's a lot of those profiles. There's a
then-
shitload of those profiles.
I know.
What
and
do
then
you have against brunch? Brunch is the best meal ever created.
It's expensive, and I can make it at home. Like, if
Okay,
I
so
want to
you're
get
broke.
drunk and eat eggs, I'll just do it in my kitchen.
Okay.
When I wake up at like 1 in the afternoon, I don't need to wake up at 10 so that I can go pretend to have.
Yay.
I'm yelling. I feel powerfully about having been drugged to brunch a few times.
So you're not willing to make the effort. Noted.
I will.
You're like, if you
give
go in
head
Dutch,
for
I'll
like
go to
an
brunch.
hour. I don't want to go to brunch at all. Don't let me go. Don't make me.
I like brunch. I'm going to have to disagree with you there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, brunch
That's
is not for
also
right
that's
now.
fine.
It's
That's
too,
your preference. If you're not a brunch guy, then
Brunch food is unhealthy, but it's really more about the alcohol, in my
I
opinion.
want to be
right?
clear.
Isn't
I
that?
don't dislike brunch. I love brunch food.
Yeah, mimosas, you know?
I just
okay,
don't
but
have
what
to travel for
is it? Is it like what time brunch starts? Is that an issue?
Yes, 100%.
Oh.
If brunch was like a 3 p.m. thing, sign me up. I'm there for it. But then we're just talking about lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with breakfast food is
That's
it's a
true.
must, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, brunch. And then any. This is probably any references to like Jesus or God is going to be it's going to be a hard left path. You can be like the most gorgeous human being on the face of the planet. If you're like Jesus first, nope. I didn't finish reading the rest of it.
What about when she says, when the first line is like, my kid is the most important thing in my life? You know, is that a deal breaker?
No, that to me like
That's rational.
like it should be. If it was like my kid's like third or fourth, and my priority
Is it like more of a? I feel like it's more of a red flag. They're like, "Fuck this kid."
do you want to take care of him?
I'm with you, but I think it's like, this actually segues into our next question. Actually, you know, like, what are some creative ways people try to make themselves seem more attractive online, or could make? Because I think if you have children, they should be the most important thing in your life, right? But is that what an online profile is about when it is about matching with somebody with like-minded things?
Yeah, I mean, if that's like, if
Yeah.
you
Have you
a
dated
child?
single-
That's a huge
Have you dated a
part
single
of your
dad?
life. I have not.
Have you dated a single mom?
No.
I've dated plenty of single moms, and they should be. You know, like it should be whatever.
They
but
should be single.
No. Probably. You know, it's
Moms?
like,
Like, what?
he's like, oh, hang out with your fucking kid. When he's 18, come talk to me. No, I'm just kidding. But from that, at least from what I've seen from the single moms that I've dated, it should like it is 100% true that it should be, but I think sometimes putting a profile gives you a little bit of an insight into their character, into a very like, oh, I'm doing whatever the hell I want, and it's always, like it's almost like a self-importance thing where that should be a given, and it tells you a little bit about what type of people they date, or about a little bit of egotism on their end. From not in all cases, but just what I've seen.
I think the intention of the dating app is important too. Like if you're just getting on there to bang,
Yeah.
Bang.
like you should let me know if I show up and there's children. Like that should be a conversation, but you don't need to put it in the profile.
Yeah.
If we're not, it's like a.
Well, this is a thing. If you see like a lot of profiles where there's like women over, let's say 33 or 34, right? And you're like, God damn, this girl looks like like. Not that women like. I think women in their 30s are great, like, but they're like they look like they're in their 20s. They're usually single moms. I don't know if you've noticed this pattern where you're like, holy shit. And then you read down and it says has kids. I'm like, it's a little bit of like, have you noticed that pattern at all, Greg? When you're like, all of a sudden you're like, God damn, this girl looks fucking amazing. Like she keeps up with herself. And it's like, oh, do you think that it's like a balancing act? I've just noticed this pattern.
And that's something I've consciously noticed, but I mean, I can see that.
Well, I'm trying to avoid single moms now, but yeah, before in the past, and I mean, I don't have the notifications turned off, right? I have a rule, right? Like, the kid has to be under 3 years old. Like
For you to want to date the person?
the single mom, yeah, because like I'm not just looking to bang them out, like I'm not looking to just crack them open and clean them out. Like I ideally.
Wait, what?
There's so many pieces to this.
Yeah, seriously.
Ideally, right? Like, like I'm at the stage where like I've dated plenty of people, right? Like, and it's more like, oh, if I'm gonna date somebody, I want to date somebody that has the potential of going somewhere. And I have found that it gets really messy with their significant other, right? And especially like as like you are dating them and the child, and it could be a selfish thing, but I think that there is a lot of friction that can happen when a child is older if you're dating a single mom.
I can see that. I mean, like, if you're dating a parent, like, seriously, it's like you're signing up to potentially also be a parent. So
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, right before the kid knows anybody, that way you don't want to be like, fuck you, Greg. You're not my fucking dad. You're just a guy that my fucking mom bangs. Whereas if, like, because I think the most of the child rearing happens early on. Like, that child really becomes who they're going to be. Like, the first 10 years is critical, and if you're getting after 10, then you really, I don't know, how much of you are you actually able to impart or have, as part of that connection or relationship, which, since it's the most important thing in the person that you're dating's life, like, it's just going to be a point of friction, in my opinion.
So you're looking at this like if you were going to stay in a relationship with this person for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go into
just
any
trying to
relationship.
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a medium balance to these things. Jesus.
Well, like, this is the thing. Like, do I have am I gonna get upset if I have like a one night stand or I date somebody for a few weeks? No, but that's not the intention that I'm going into it.
Yeah.
If I just want to bang out women, I'll just get a sugar baby. I'm just kidding. By the way, that's a hack, ladies and gentlemen. Just bang sugar babies if you just want to bang out women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a sugar relationship?
Not a relationship.
Okay, you wouldn't call it a relationship.
No.
What would you call it? A mutually beneficial
actually,
relationship?
there was like a situation. I'm like, that's like so much work
Yeah.
that I don't want to do.
Yeah. Why do you say it's so much
Because
work?
then it's 100% you tell them they're a good boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that 100% of the time.
Would you have to? What if they like to be wrath a little bit?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think there's a lot of acting involved if you're like really in the relationship, and that's just not something that appeals to me.
I hear you.
That's fair. It sounds awful. I don't want to have to pretend to like someone.
Yeah, and like people, the men who look for the sugar relationships have a lot of bullshit going on, and I'm just not gonna indulge it.
Like, what kind of bullshit do they have?
like they just like a lot of like I don't know, pity party stuff, like being like, why I'm so shocked that I'm 40 and single, even though I'm like fucking weird. It's like, okay. Anyway.
Wow, this is very illuminating. That's amazing. Would you ever have a sugar baby, Greg, if you were 40 and single? And had the cash, and you could take them to brunch. Obviously, you know, like I'm just.
And brunch started at 3 p.m.
Yeah, brunch started after 3 p.m.
I want to be able to have like adult conversations with the person that I'm seeing.
Oh, so you're saying they're just a bunch of skanks, is what you're saying?
Yes, I'm belittling just a whole category of people.
Well, my question to you is, like, and to both of you is a sugar baby closer to sex work or closer to dating?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where does it lie? Does it lie right in the middle, or does it lean in a particular direction?
I think the sugar baby would have, like, if that person is feeling intimate, like, in that relationship, then it's a relationship. If it's purely like, if they're conceptualizing as I'm just doing this for money, then it's sex work. So I think it's more of like their perspective.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
That's fair. In your scenario, was it more a relationship or was it more like closer to sex work?
Probably closer to sex work, but there were like some.
You're just stupid Johns, anyways, right?
Yeah,
like,
but it's not like. But it wasn't like I was having sex with all of them.
You were going. They were taking you out to dinner.
Yeah, it's
shows,
like sometimes it was like literally like they took me out to dinner, gave me like 50 or 100 euros because I was in Madrid at the time.
Oh yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
Like no like sex involved, just like going out to dinner.
Was your allowance per date or was it like a weekly allowance?
It was just like a per date because I like didn't want to deal with the like relationship end.
Yeah, fair enough. By the way, if you feel uncomfortable about this, we can cut it out later. By the way, like just let me know. Great.
If my parents ever watch this, all of that was a lie.
Of course, this is a comedy. This is a comedy podcast.
And monetarily. Yours is a good exchange rate too. That's probably like 120 USD.
I'm worth it.
That's actually kind of low.
I am
for
a lovely time. I am delightful.
I think you could have gotten more. You know, like. Let me go back to this question. Where this is fucking hilarious, by the way. So Greg, so there's no amount of money that like does 100 euros seem fair to take out like a bright young lady like Emily out? What do you think? What do you think she should have charged them?
This is so weird. Emily, what would your ideal? That's fucked up. I'm not really.
You're speechless, my man. Like,
because I'm trying to form a coherent thought here.
Yeah.
I'm not without like stepping on it. I don't. Maybe it's like a certain hubris, but I don't think I would ever pay for a date. Just because
Fair.
at that point it's like, if the goal is to have a date and create some amount of intimacy, you should probably do that with somebody that like you're not coercing into this via money. Like,
well, there's a lot of assumptions in that scenario.
That was the wrong word.
Well, it's like the thing is, it's like sometimes it's like you just want to have a good date, and it's like if you're paying someone to be charming and interested in what you're saying, like you're gonna have
Like at a business
a
meeting
good date,
or something. Is
you
that what you're saying?
know. Like if you're like, you know what, I just want to be able to talk about myself and not feel like an asshole. I thought of it like therapy sessions, honestly.
Okay.
You try to talk a little bit into the mic or move your mic. Feel free to move your mic if you need to. Great.
This is scary.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
Thank you. Just let me.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
No, that's got to be a validating experience though, because then that person's taking you out because you're like charismatic. They're paying you to have a personality. That's cool. How do you get into this gig?
You have to be pretty, and yeah, that's usually that's pretty much it. pretty and like under 25.
So I'm out. I can't.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the sugar mamas are looking for.
I could say I'm 25.
You could. I think you could pass.
Thanks.
Yeah. How old are you?
32.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's close enough. Yeah. I looked 25 when I was 32. You know. All right. So let's keep it rolling. Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Have you ever encountered a profile that was too good to be true, like online? And did it turn out to be true, or what happened?
I feel like that has happened. No, it's not really happened, but I've like gotten some that are like just bots. Like those are the ones where it's like, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Or like the profiles are very obviously bots, and they're just like trying to promote their OnlyFans.
Yeah,
or
or
whatever.
sell you crypto or something.
Yeah.
Greg, do me a quick favor. Will you move your mic with like the arm, not the mic itself, just a little bit to your right? That way, when you just push it a little bit to your right. That way, and a little bit down. That way, when you turn that way, you can still hear you pretty good on the mic. Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah,
you're
now we
golden.
can look at each other.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna hold it like this the rest of the time.
No, you're doing
You're
great.
doing so good.
Thanks.
Um,
I'm gonna go home.
You want a
and
treat?
write in my diary. I do want a treat.
so, Emily and then Greg, what are some of the worst opening lines that you've ever received on a dating app?
Oh, I actually just posted about one. This guy messaged me and was like, what should I have for breakfast right now? Like, or like, what should I wear today? And I was like, no, absolutely not. I will not be telling you how to make basic decisions.
That
for
was
yourself.
it. It was just, what should I wear today?
No, hold on. I'll get it out. Let me get my.
It is shocking to me sometimes hearing the things that other men say and do. Like,
Yeah.
just really half-assed that, didn't you, buddy?
This is the exact message. I'm thinking of cooking breakfast, but not sure if I should go for a sandwich or just a plate of eggs, bacon, and toast. What do you think I should do?
That is so specifically weird. Like, it's not even funny. And also, a sandwich isn't cooking. That's a red flag. If he says, I'm going to cook dinner and makes a sandwich.
Yeah. That's...
So did you say, what did you say?
I said nothing. I was like, no, thank you.
Should have said, like, quiche.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Another message. So I love to garden, and I love that you seem to be more dominant. Let's talk Ash. Let's talk Asheville. Also love the height. Winky face.
Love the hike? You have
Yeah.
a hiking picture in your profile?
No,
is it?
height. Like, I'm
Oh,
tall.
okay.
Because
I love the implication of gardening being like a sub activity. You know? Like, I'm a gardener, and you're
How tall are
dominant.
you?
I'm like 5'10", I think.
Okay.
What?
You're taller than me, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I'm
tall do
like
you think you are?
5'9"-ish.
How tall do you think you are? I like how you put it.
I think that's an accurate figure.
Yeah,
Based on my
okay.
doctor, based on medical professionals.
Good. I like that. I thought you were going to be like, I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, I'm like 5'8" in the morning before my spine compresses. Then like 5'7" and a half. You know, like. That's cool. And is this guy taller than you or shorter than you? Like, is it a
let's
fetish or
see.
something?
I think so. Let's see. He's 6'4".
Oh, okay.
Respectable.
Oh, he's like. Do you think that he's maybe like, yeah, like some women are self-conscious about their height, so I'm gonna like, pump her ego here. I love the height.
I don't know. I used to be self-conscious about my height.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm not anymore. But yeah.
Why were you self-conscious about it?
Because like society told me to be.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Society.
Why? What do you think they told you to be?
I don't know. It's like the whole thing. Society makes you feel bad if you're like larger as a woman.
You made the larger, but like you made the wider.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like I have broad shoulders and am very tall. So
fair enough. Okay.
society was like, ew, you look like a man.
That's a very
Be small.
heteronormative point of view, by the way.
That society is.
Have you? How about you, Greg? Have you ever had somebody, give you a bad opening line or a bad retort that you can remember?
No, I don't I don't get a lot of opening lines, TBH.
I said the dumbest message ever as an opening line.
Let's hear it.
Okay, this guy, his name's Tom, and I was like, is Tom short for Tomithy?
See, that's funny. That'll be a winner.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even continue. I was like, that was so stupid. I need to delete everything.
Did he reply?
I think he just said LOL. What do you yeah. He's like, I wish.
Is there anything in the, for example, an LOL, is that something that would have you, that would keep your interest and have you reply to him, or should he have followed that up with something better?
No, that's I don't know. No, I mean, he did. He was like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
He asked me if I ever met a Tomithy. I was like, that's a pretty mid question.
You should say that. That's a mid question. Just evaluate.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you when you match with somebody, Greg, what's your first, do you have a go-to message, or what do you usually send out? It sounds like from your laugh that you have a go-to opener.
Throughout my mid-20s, my line was, are you a copy of Harry Potter at the local public library? Because I'm checking you out.
No.
You already hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't do that anymore. Now I just go for a solid hey. In my philosophy, I know but I'm like, if you want to talk, let's talk. Why do I have to come up with? At no point in life do you ever just walk up to someone and you're like, let me hit you with an icebreaker.
Yeah, but online dating is not real life.
All right. So does it have to be a creative?
I mean, it should be at least throw in a how was your day?
But I don't care. That's a joke. It's
Bad.
Oh.
So ideal opening line, Emily. What do you think is a good opening line for anybody watching? To learn.
The last one that I used was, do I know you from Asheville? Where do I know you from? Because then they're going to try and figure it out. Do I know you? And then be like, I gotcha.
I've just been looking through your window.
I don't know.
All right.
No, that's I feel like that's
that a guy should send to a girl?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's creepier if it's
because then she can be like,
end.
"Are you subscribed to my OnlyFans?" Maybe from there.
I don't know, but I actually thought this wasn't actually me trying to be like, where do I know you from? I actually thought I recognized him from.
No,
I actually thought we I thought we had Spanish class together. I really thought that I knew this guy. But now that's the guy that I'm going on a date with, so that's why I said it worked.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
How about are you a dirty aluminum can by the trash? Because I'm crushing on you.
I mean, if you're looking for someone who likes dad jokes, that's a great opening line.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand flirting. What's your social security number?
That is a good one. What's your banking information?
Interesting. I have some more for you if you have more thoughts on it. If not,
Yeah.
I can fire another one up for you.
Yeah, I have straight if there was a guy who super liked me who was 45 and not very attractive, and I was like, what is this about? So I was like, what's he gonna say? And I was literally pay me. I'll go out, pay me.
God damn it. You're monetizing so effectively.
What did he say?
He was like, oh, I've never done that before. And I was like, that's cool. We can talk about it if you want. So he got me a really nice bottle of wine while we talked about it. Didn't do any physical stuff.
In person?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't get any money, but I did get a really nice bottle of wine.
Nice.
So
Greg is he's like, is this what dating is like?
I want to get free stuff.
Ask for it. You probably won't, but That's how I get free stuff. Is I say, give me something.
I don't think I have that kind of leverage. Need to be at least 3 inches taller.
Have you ever encountered someone with an unusual or bizarre dating preference on an app that you can remember? And if not, can you recall any awkward encounters from online dating that you just can't forget?
I mean, there are definitely profiles that are like Dom seeking sub seeking Dom, like that type of thing.
Oh, yeah?
Real straightforward, yeah.
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 Or when there's like no picture and they're like, I'm just on here like to see what's out there. Or like they have a bunch of memes as their profile and they're like trying to get someone to, it's like, there's no picture. Are you a real person? Like that's sketchy as hell.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Several years ago, I was living in Atlanta and I had matched with a woman who was like in her mid-30s. And we had been chatting throughout the night and we exchanged numbers. And then, like, I was going to bed. It was, like, 3 a.m, but I got a phone call at, like, 4 from her. She was hammered, and she's like, I really need you to come pick me up. I'm at this bar in Atlanta. Like, they're kicking us out.
Did you do it?
I was pretty horny, so, yeah, I did. I was like,
See,
okay.
you were a victim of that, like, people like me being like, give me things.
And I did, though. She was a good-looking person. I picked her up. And then as soon as she got into the car, she pulled out of her bra a $100 bill and a pocket knife. And then I was like, all right, where do you live? And she goes, I don't know. Like, she was fucked up. And I was like, what?
I love her.
And she's like, I don't know the address to my apartment.
Do you still have her number? Let's see what's up. Let's get an update.
Yeah, let's
on
get her on the pod.
I'm never talking to her again. I finally found her place, like, via just... She's like, oh, I live in Midtown. I was like, where in Midtown? She's like, well, next to this thing. So we got there.
Wow.
And she's like, you should come inside. And I was like, maybe, all right. And I got in there, and there was just puddles of dog piss on the floor, like multiple puddles with a mop in the corner. And I was like, what's up with that? With the dog piss all over the floor. She was like, oh, well, my beagles don't like to go outside to use the bathroom, so I just let them pee in here. I was like, you don't have like a mat? Or she's like, no, they just pee on the floor. And she just mops it up every time.
Did you have sex with this woman?
I did not. I said, I think I have to go.
Yeah.
But she had left her phone in my car, and so I had to go back and return it. And then
How hot was
me,
she on a scale of 1 to 10?
I thought she like a 7 to 8.
If she had been a 10, would you have banged her out?
No, the whole thing was very off-putting.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's confirming.
Good. That's a whole lot of red flag right there.
And also, it smelled like dog piss. Like that. There was just, I think that was an overwhelming sensation that I'm still reflecting on.
Yeah.
And I hope she's okay. She really had to.
She's not okay. She is not okay.
That's so funny. So let's discuss the pros and cons of using emojis in dating app conversations. How do you feel about them, Emily?
I mean, like one emoji is okay. If it's like, if you have more than 2 emojis in a message, I'm like, why? What are you? Why? I don't know.
What if the message is all emojis?
It depends. Are they cleverly arranged emojis?
Oh, okay.
Is it like a little? Is it like a eggplant peach? I don't know. You know, that says enough right there.
How about you, Greg? How do you feel about emojis?
The thing I love about emojis is that they really capture what words just can't capture. Wink, tongue out. Like you can't. Those are things you have to convey with emojis in those scenarios.
Tongue out. Is that you use the tongue out a lot? Wait, go to your emojis right now. I want to see what your commonly used emojis are.
Top emojis.
Yeah. Let's see what I would do this for myself too.
Do
you think there are red flag emojis? Like if you had if you were like your top emojis and one of them's like, I don't know.
How do you feel about like the equal sign parentheses?
Well,
what is that?
Or like the colon parentheses?
Oh, as like a smiley face?
Yeah, like a T9 type.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, like you're sending like text
Like you're just-
emojis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Like you're
very
not sending like.
because I still do that all the time.
I think that's fine. Yeah, my recently used emojis. Let's see. What are your? I feel like that could say something about someone.
So what are your top 3 most recently used emojis?
Smiley, blushy face, meditating, and surprised. The one that's like.
Oh yeah. That's my 4th one as well.
Mine is the flat eyes with the flat mouth. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of disappointment in your life.
And then the teeth one. That one.
Yeah.
Which is actually now that I'm like, oh fuck. And then this one. I really did evaluate my fucking shit.
Gosh.
Oh, and then another
dives.
sad one.
Another sad emoji?
Just
Like
I think I express sadness and uncomfortability with.
Oh, you don't know how to express your sadness in words, so you use emojis.
I know it's
Yeah.
it's either that or very long poems.
No.
Yeah, every girl I've ever dated, I just write
No, you don't.
tomes of poetry.
No, you don't.
I don't know. I did in high school once.
I'm glad that
We
it was
were
just
angst. We were both 17.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Writing poetry in high school, it's like you're trying to figure out who you are. So, you know.
Especially after a breakup, you know.
Yeah.
Mine are the crying face emoji. You know, like the one where
Laughing, crying.
yeah, the laughing crying
Okay.
one. The clap one. The arm one,
Nice.
and the shock one, and the 100 emoji.
I feel like those
Okay.
are all, that's pretty positive. That tells me your emoji outlook is very positive.
Yes.
Start comparison to Greg's.
I'm sorry. I have feelings.
Well, I'm a firm
He's
believer.
a sensitive boy.
I am a sensitive boy. Thank you.
What's your sign?
like a stop sign?
No, your astrology sign.
Oh, I think like hyena.
When's your birthday?
June 20th.
You're a Cancer, right?
I've also heard Gemini.
Oh, is it Gemini? I don't know.
I think I'm like right on the cusp.
on the cusp.
As,
Yeah. I know
Let's see.
my brother's a Gemini.
What are you?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay. So June 20th.
Yeah.
Sign.
you just looked at me with like a certain level of like fuck you.
Oh yeah, it's a Gemini.
Oh, interesting.
But that's like right on June 20th is the end of it.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a Pisces with a Leo moon.
Oh, okay.
You know, which is why I'm not a traditional Pisces. You know, but I was when I was younger. You know, I was like a little emo bitch. You know, but So okay, we cover the emojis. I like that.
Doing
This
good.
is very good.
Good boy.
Have you ever been ghosted? And tell me how that went.
Yes, and it was usually mutual.
Mutual ghosting?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means where, like they don't respond, you don't like try again, and you're just like okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many messages like would you send? You know, like let's say you send a message and you don't get a reply. What's the maximum number of follow-up messages that you'll send, or that you think it's appropriate to send?
How many I send and what I think's appropriate are not the same.
Fair. Yeah, let's explore both.
It depends on if I like care about embarrassing myself. Like I recently had like a little situationship, I guess is what people are calling it these days, with this guy, and he was like, I'm like dating other people, and I was like, that's cool, you're the rebound, like it is what it is. And then like this was literally a couple weeks ago. I like was drunk and I was messaging him and he wasn't responding as quickly as I wanted him to, and I would hit him with like 10 messages in a row. I don't give a fuck.
How did he take it?
He was like, I was like, not well. No, we have not spoken since.
Oh no.
Oh no, yeah, that was my response to. Oh no.
How about you, Greg?
I do 2 SMS messages and then a shirtless bathroom pic. And then 2 more SMS messages, and then maybe like the outline of my dick. And if that doesn't get them, then like
Like a chalk drawing.
Yeah. You give it your best shot after that. You're like,
No, realistically, I'll send. It depends on how like invested I am in and like wanting to see this person. One, just hey, and then maybe a few days later, like what's up? And then like a few days later,
fuck you, bitch.
just like a series of crying sad emojis.
Yeah.
I feel like you aren't bringing enough to the table in your messages. To be
It's like,
honest.
yes, a human being, Jesus.
No, like in you're like, I hit him with the hey, so I should get a response. Like, no, that's not like.
I agree with you there.
You're not bringing it. It's like, why do I want to talk to you? All you said was hey.
Why would I want to?
You gotta have an actionable item in your message.
Clearly, you
like,
want to talk to the person because you initiated the hey, but it's like, do you want them to respond? Like,
Okay, philosophically, I think the hey puts it in a position of like, we both have to come to terms of wanting to talk to each other instead of me putting you in a position where it's like, I desperately want to talk to you. So like, here's my.
But what do you want to talk to them about?
yeah, like just say it. Like literally, if you're like, hey, you seem like a really cool person. Like, what are you into? That you will get a response.
Oh, okay.
Like, compliment the person. They're going to respond if you like give a compliment. They'll at least be like, smiley face.
You have a good face. Is that good?
No.
Your ears are well shaped and placed.
That one.
That might get a response.
That might get a response.
Yeah, that might get a response.
That's like a very thoughtful. If you compliment a girl's eyebrows, like you 100% of the time you'll get a response.
Interesting.
If you're like, wow, your eyebrows like really, I don't know.
I like how
frame
bushy your
face.
eyebrows are.
Oh, God.
I like
Well,
how
you
thin
could be like,
and
you have very striking
unhealthy
eyebrows,
your
you know?
Like your eyebrows really shape your face well. Actually,
Yeah.
that's too much. Just be like, I like your eyebrows, because then they're gonna be like, why do you know that much about eyebrows? But if you're, yeah, but also then if you compliment their eyebrows, they're also gonna be like, some bitch told him to compliment the eyebrows because we be thinking about our eyebrows.
Women never compliment my eyebrows,
Yeah, I mean,
despite doing this all the time.
you got to pencil them in, you know, get them a little sharper, a little bit, you know, more filled in.
Mine are
That way they're
kinda
like, oh,
wizard.
you really do something with your eyebrows, you know?
There's some that like hang down in the morning and they kind of obscure my vision a little
Oh,
bit.
dude, I have a hair that keeps growing like no other, you know, like, so I hear you. I just pull them out. Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's not that bad. It's easy. You know, just grab it and then, you know.
Well, yeah, I know it's easy, but like they're pieces of you.
Trust me, I have plenty of eyebrows.
They're
you know, as they go
pieces of
along.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, you could save them.
Oh, I do.
Jar.
That's my like
That's your follow up. I like your eyebrows. I personally put mine in a jar.
and then it's a picture of my mason jar full of my eyebrows throughout my life.
Yes.
What's the weirdest reason that you've heard for being ghosted or why you've ghosted somebody?
Like the excuse of why the ghosting happened.
Yeah. Or maybe the reason why you ghosted somebody where you're like, oh, yeah, this is a deal breaker, but I don't want to talk to them anymore. Yeah.
They didn't have a car and were kind of an alcoholic.
Oh God. All right. It's gonna get dark for a second, but
I would expect nothing less.
so for a long time I just played the dead dad card. And I was like, I can't do emotions right now because my dad died 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what are they going to
I'm
say
so
to that?
sorry.
Fair
Like,
enough.
I
What are they
know.
gonna say to that?
Sucks
Yeah.
for both of us.
You're getting a little old to use that one because at this point it's like
Most people have
it's
a
like
dead
yeah, or at least like the potential for a dead parent is going up the older you get. So
Yeah, I know. No, I'm well aware.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
you don't use it anymore.
I've just been killing off brothers that I don't have.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, really, you can do anything. You
Yeah.
can say anything. Doesn't matter. What do you think it's better to like make up an excuse like my brother just died, or is it better to say like my brother just died, I'm not in a place to date, or to just like ghost?
I don't like just ghosting. I just go with
So-
honesty, where I'm like, I just don't.
Really?
I don't think we
Doesn't
should
sound like
hang
it.
out anymore. Well, not now. I'm like, I
No,
can't
no.
use the dead dad thing. I've just resorted to honesty.
Honesty, okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people are like, I'd rather be ghosted than to be told that I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Like at a certain point, it's like just stop respond. Like if it's like 1 month and you're like already like, no, I think that's like a reasonable to just like ghost them at that point.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's
But if it's like more than like a month, then maybe an explanation.
okay.
But I don't know.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's my philosophy.
Is there any awkwardness if you've ever like recognized somebody in real life from the dating apps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the dating apps, but I did.
Whoa.
Oh, from the other type of dating.
No, this was just like a random guy I hooked up, like met at a bar and hooked up with. Back in my slutty era. And then...
And he didn't have to pay.
No, yeah, which was... Look,
You could have.
we went back to his apartment and we fucked on his futon. And
Was
then...
did he have a bed?
No, it was the food.
It
That
was just the futon.
Just the futon.
Nice.
I know,
Hey, listen,
I know.
that'll happen. When I lived in Tulsa, I used to have. I just moved in this apartment, which was catty corner to a bar, like on top of a restaurant. So like it had like cool feel, but I only had a mattress topper, and I had it folded over, and I used that as a mattress, and it still worked.
That is so resourceful.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the one lowering her standards at that point, not me.
Yeah, true.
Are bed frames necessary? Is that a deal breaker?
Yes. Oh my God.
Why? It's environmentally unsound. It's a waste of wood and metal. Like billions of people sleep on the ground. It's very privileged to have a bed frame. And a little bit Eurocentric. And a little racist. And honestly,
is it?
misogynistic if we dig far enough into
Oh
it.
my God.
I'm a hero.
No, you're not. You're lazy. You're a good boy.
Thank you. I was like, well, what happened to the affirmations? Thank you.
I think not having a bed frame, unless if you come from a culture that does not have bed frames, totally fine.
Polish.
Are you Polish?
And Welsh, yeah. Classic bed frameless cultures.
Wait, isn't Welsh like part of Great Britain?
Yeah, but it's its own thing.
Yeah, they're far away. Poland and Wales.
Yeah, those are very different cultures.
They're even separated by water.
Well, I'm not saying
They're
one
separated
parent
by
was
a
from both
lot.
places. I
Yeah.
had two parents. And two
Yeah.
family lines.
Well, I'm just saying. And when did they move to the United States?
Like a couple centuries ago.
Exactly. So you're a part of the American culture.
And there's a lot of Americans that don't use bed frames. Like babies. Their whole bed is just one big piece of thing. There's not even separate
Yeah,
pieces.
it's a whole bed frame. Their whole bed is the bed frame.
And I'm doing
Plus
the opposite. 'Cause I'm an
imagine they
adult.
have a.
What if I have the evidence of the broken bed frame stuffed under the
That's
couch
even worse.
next to my bed?
That's like
as a way to say, look, I had one.
They could say this guy
No.
fucks so hard that he's breaking bed frames
Exactly,
and he can't
yeah.
have
that's
anymore.
like that's actually good. That's a good strategy for you because then you can be like, oh, my bed frame just broke.
That's 100% what I do. Well, now I
But
can't.
when did your bed frame break?
Last year. But no, you can't read the age of the wood. It's
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying if you're like, if it's just trying to, one night stand or, trying to get them interested at first, I would definitely use the excuse every single time, all the time. It just broke.
But then if it becomes more of a long-term thing.
And then it's like, okay, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel gross not having a bed frame.
You feel gross?
Yeah, like you're right. You're on the floor. You're like sleeping on the floor. It's dirtier. Like
Dogs sleep on the floor?
Well, there is extra storage under a bed frame as well. You can put
that
shit
too.
underneath it.
I got hella closet space.
Oh my gosh.
I've been trying to pepper in hella.
What about a headboard? Is a headboard necessary?
No.
Oh, I
don't
have a headboard.
I don't have a headboard.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Quick question. Well, that's not a quick question, right? So, do we have anything more on bed frames or headboards?
Just that Greg should get one.
I have one. It's just broken.
Yeah.
And I
What up to what age do you think a woman would accept him not having a bed frame?
The man or the woman?
Like if they're dating Greg, how old will the woman be where she's like, oh, it's cute, and when she's like,
They've never
it's
said,
not
"Oh,
cute at
that's
all,
Yeah, no, that's not. It's never cute.
Fair
it's
enough.
cute in college.
Well, I was a grad
You
student.
could just say you're 25, remember?
Yeah, and I would say probably 25 is like when like you're like, okay.
I want somebody to like me for me and not for my bed frame.
So you feel like you don't need to improve yourself at all.
Well, I could be like a couple inches taller. And I work on that every day.
Oh, yeah, you do exercises.
I just hang from
Yeah.
stuff with heavy shoes. No, improving is good. The bed frame.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we've run this into the
Yeah.
ground. I
Well,
get
That's
it.
fine. I think it's a sign. If I was like, I strongly feel that bed frames are necessary, and the guy was like, I'm not getting one, then I'd be like, cool, you do not care about my opinion, and bye-bye. Like, that's it. But,
This is a learning experience, it's Casa De Thinking, Greg will have something to think about. Right?
yeah.
So what are some of the strangest places or events that people have suggested for a first date? Start with you. Is anything?
So I'm like the worst first date just popped into my head where I like expected it to be a lot nicer than it was. This guy was like, let's go get drinks. And I was like, all right, cool. So we like meet up, we like walk around a little first, and then we pop into a little bodega, and we grab a couple tall boys. And he's like, all right, now let's
fuck that dude.
now let's go back to
Hell
my
yeah.
place. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I thought we were like going out. We're just like gonna hang. That's fine. I was like, we can hang. Like, that's cool. But then we get to his apartment, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna he like puts on YouTube videos. He's like, let's watch some YouTube videos.
Oh, I love all of this.
And we're like watching some dumb YouTube videos that I'm not even into. And then he like takes my hand and like puts it like right on his lap, like in.
Whoa.
And I was like, I've gotta go. Goodbye.
Had you guys even like kissed yet?
No.
He just went for a hand on.
Yeah, or maybe he'd kissed me first and it wasn't a very good kiss, and I was like, oh, this is nah. And I was like, I'll try and figure out a like classy way to exit. And then he did that, and I was like, bye, goodbye.
Damn.
Yeah. That was also while I was living in Madrid, and he was like very tall and British, so I think
It's the tall Brits.
I think he got away with a lot because he was tall and British.
This is why imperialism is bad.
So true.
Would you say that you let him? How tall was he? Because I remember you mentioning this guy in one of our other pods.
I know, because it is like, it's just like etched. Because it was just so bad. Because I don't typically just like walk out on a date when it's going bad. Mm-hmm. Usually I'm like, I'll just see what happens. Like, at least it'll be like I'll get a little chuckle out of it. He was probably like 6'5". He was very tall and handsome. So I'm guessing he got away with like that type of shit a lot.
Where did you guys drink the tall boys?
At his apartment. Like,
Oh my god! It
Yeah.
wasn't even like let's go on a walk and like.
we walked a little bit, but it was mostly like once we got the drinks, we went back to his place.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I also had a guy ask me to rate how the date was going like 20 minutes in.
Wow.
I know.
That
I was like,
is
not well, buddy.
interesting.
Not well. You need to just relax. Like, it's not serious like that.
So
Wow.
he was very authentically asking you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a.
Yeah. He was like a very like earnest man.
I fucking hate earnest people. I have a problem of being sarcastic all the time. And I've learned that you can't do that on first dates with people that you just met because you say stuff like deadpan, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
Like, no, that was a joke. It just didn't land. So I've ruined a few first encounters that way.
What's the weirdest play? What do you usually like first date? What do you do on the first date? Where do you take them? Do you have a go-to, or what should it be like?
Typically, I feel like dinner is a very committed, like drinks with like like some sort of like food that is accessible, but that isn't like let's do a full dine. It's very. I don't like stuffy. I want it to be like fun and fluid. So
Yeah.
Let's go to like a beer garden type situation.
Okay. What do you think about that?
That's a good. Yeah, I would say like coffee or like getting a drink is like
Coffee. What do you think about
for
coffee?
first date, that's like, you don't want to be like stuck there, like wait, because dinner is like you are committing to be there. Like you have to wait for at least 20 minutes for your food to come out, and if you're like, this guy's fucking weird, you're there.
Yeah.
And then you have to eat the food.
Yeah.
What do you think about coffee, Greg? Do you think coffee is a good first date?
I think conceptually, yeah, but I sweat a lot when I drink coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, then
So
not for you.
For me, yeah, I get like dripping sweat. It's bad. And that's not endearing at all, I don't think. It's like that, no bed frame is game over for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to be sweaty on the first date, because then they're just going to be thinking, is this guy okay?
And
Unless
I
you're
am.
maybe
I'm
doing
just
something
hot.
active. Unless maybe you're paddleboarding, then maybe you can sweat. But that's also a commitment, for a first date.
Paddleboarding?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
I
done
would
it.
never.
I've
If
done it,
someone
but-
suggested paddleboarding for a first date, I'd be like, no, next option.
Yeah.
Is it because you don't like paddleboarding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the least fun way to move in the water.
What if you weren't paddling though?
Oh, if they were taking me, that'd
It's
be
like
fun.
a little.
They were
picnic.
paddling me around. That would be great, actually.
Oh, that's romantic.
So
Right? Oh my gosh, a little boat ride, a little
Yeah.
But I would not do that on a first date. Are
Absolutely.
you kidding me? A man taking me into a body of
You're
water.
gonna get murdered.
Yeah, like, are you kidding?
100%, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Maybe if they're very weak and tiny.
I do think about that.
Like, could I beat up this man?
Yes. When I'm thinking about like, will I be, this is like just across, not even in dating. This is just like in general, if I'm thinking about, am I willing to be alone in a room with this man? Do I think they're going to like respect my boundaries? And could I beat them up / run away?
I think those are reasonable questions to have with
Yeah.
a stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even stranger though, just like men in general.
Oh, just
like yeah, I would think about, if you were like, let's hang out somewhere, I would be thinking like, could I beat Greg up?
I have a torn Achilles on my right side.
Okay, so we can hang out.
And yeah, okay. And I'm very easily disoriented.
Okay. Yeah, so we can hang out.
Okay.
So back when I lived in Austin, which is really where I was actually dating, because then I moved here, and then shortly after, I just moved here, and shortly after, I started dating Andy. But I like the thing. I had this fucking thing down to a science, because you're right. The first date, you don't like. I always think that the first date is an audition. You don't even know if you fucking like the person yet, So connections are made through shared experiences, right? So and like first and 2 days were maybe a little programmatic, but afterwards they become a first date. It's usually 3 hours max. It's a guideline, like if you have a connection, like you can extend it really well, but you can have dates go too long. And I think that can be detrimental to actually the connection and multiple dates, and sometimes not, right? But guideline, without knowing the person. First is maybe a walk. Maybe let's say here. You get like, if I was to employ it here, I'd probably, and I have, when I'm more seriously dating, I'll probably employ it. Oh, you want to check out the Raleigh Museum of whatever? Like, there's an outside exhibit out there. very non-committal or whatever, and on both ends, you don't know if you're gonna like this fucking bitch that's gonna show up, so, do that for roughly about an hour, right? Like, or plan for about an hour. If it's not going well, great, have a good time, yeah, we'll chat. It's never gonna happen, right? But if you're into them, then be like, oh, by the way, like, you want to grab a drink nearby? There's like this cool place that I know. And you go to a little, like, still no food, a little, like, bar, grab a drink, really, get to know them a little bit better and whatnot. Do that for about an hour. Then you might be like, oh, I know this good spot for, like, tapa, sushi, or whatever that's kind of, like, nearby. You want to go check it out? Once again, you have another point to just, like, take off if it's not going well. And then, then you're like, you're like having, drinks, food, and that's kind of like, and then right after there, it's like kind of like where you're going to end it, right? All of a sudden you created 3 separate activities. I might even say, like, even a ball game might be cool for like a second date or whatever, right? Or maybe even a first date, because people can just fucking leave if they want. I've never done the ball game, but it's one of the new things I'm thinking what's around me that would be cool. And from that's been, like, I found incredible success, because guess what? You know how long your first day is going to be. You can literally triple stack 3 dates in a day. Like, I always say that.
Wait, would you do that?
I have done that multiple times.
Wow.
Because the way that I see it is, like, sometimes people are going to flake out. People are going to be like, late term cancel. So, maybe 1 cancels. If 2 cancel, you're still good for the day. Mm-hmm. And especially if you do it on a weekend, you can start an early date at, 10, 11 a.m. Do one at around, like, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and then you do one in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, you have your day lined out. You're able to quickly, it's like, you're just qualifying leads, in my opinion, of the first date. And I found that to be an effective strategy for dating. Your thoughts on this strategy?
3 in a day. That's
a
lot. I personally could not do that.
Yeah.
But I'm an introvert. I'm like, okay, after meeting one new person, I'm like, okay, time to go home, just to be with myself. But yeah, I think, having an activity is, like, really good, because then, if you don't find anything to talk about, you can at least be like, oh, look at that weird sculpture.
Yeah, fair enough.
What do you think about that?
And especially I think the first hour in a first date is crucial, because you don't know the fucking person.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think you need to have an out. What do y'all think about this approach? Would it be effective in North Carolina?
Yeah, I think that's, like,
For sure.
Effective anywhere.
No, like
Having activities is, like, the most important thing.
Yeah, no, I've gotten really good at dating, and, like, that's why I'm like, like. Listen, I'm a 30-year-old man. Like, I've fucking dated a shitload of women throughout my life, like, of all types. And that's why I'm like, where you mentioned, like, with the breakup, I'm not sweating it. It wasn't for me. I think that everybody deserves to be with somebody that's fully, like, as excited about being with them as they are to being with the other person, right?
Sure.
And if not, why the fuck are you there? Like, just walk away. There's plenty of people out there. And for example, right, like, do I, like, height? Don't even fucking worry about it. Like, I don't think you should worry about things that are literally beyond your control. That's just self-consciousness bullshit, right?
I was
Like,
broken up
you
with,
can't
like,
change
3
it.
weeks ago for being short.
Fuck her.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
How tall was she?
She was a little taller than you.
Okay.
She's like, I like you, but I feel really insecure being taller than you.
Well, that's society telling her, right? That.
True. I've dated a short king or 2.
What do you consider short?
Like 5'7".
That's very kind. Thank you. She's like, you said 5'8" earlier. I would have said 5'8" had you not said 5'8".
I dated a guy who was like...
I'm telling my country, okay?
I dated a guy that was shorter than you. He was Puerto Rican.
Was he secure about himself?
Yeah.
Good.
So it, like, wasn't a problem.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, with things that you can't change, your height, your dick size, whatever, like, the quicker you get over that bullshit, is going to be better for you, because confidence is key. Like, it's like sales. You only got to, like, like, people think that sales, like, you got to get somebody to buy. It's like, no, you just got to sell to the people that are buyers of your product. Otherwise, they're not going to be returning customers, in that sense, and I'm, like commercializing or whatever, but it's like, fuck it, like now wait, 100% mutable. That's why, for example, in the apps, I'm not fucking worried about it. Like, per that fucking thing, I'm Fatty Bombaddy, I have to lose 44 pounds of fat, like that's fine. I'm like 32% fat. But guess what? That's me ordering fucking Uber Eats all the fucking time and getting high and not doing jack shit. So like that is my worst case scenario is like, except for the last week, what you see in front of you, like, so it's like, and one thing that I like, and you guys may disagree, but I was talking to my friend overseas and like in Germany, I was like, what makes a fucking dude attractive? I have no fucking idea. I'm like, what makes, Harrison Friedman, right? What's the difference between Harrison Friedman and fucking Dyson, right? Like women think that Dyson's attractive.
Oh.
I'm like, to me, they're just two dudes. Yeah, Dyson is super fit, right? Like, and okay. And I'm not saying that Harrison Friedman's not a good-looking guy, right? Like, once again, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, what would make, like, especially if you don't see his height, because that's a good thing going for him, I guess in the sexual marketplace, right? And I'm like, is it just being fit that makes you attractive? And
you can't tell if another man is attractive?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. For example, if you put you and Dyson, I don't see what the like. If that there might be a level of attraction one more than the other, or Harrison next to Dyson, because I'm not a woman. I don't like they're to me they're both good looking guys. Like I don't see why they would why they would not. But then again, like I'm a little weird. So my friend contextual, I'm like, is it just being fit that makes you attractive? And somebody else told me, it's like, yeah, like a good-looking guy that's out of shape is almost the same as a fucking horrible-looking guy that's super fit. And I'm like, oh. And all of a sudden, like, in those terms, it made sense to me. I'm like, oh, if fitness is what makes you attractive, okay. Then that's okay. Fuck it. Like, that's why I joined my gym. I'm like, I'm going to be the ultimate form. Also, whenever I don't get high, I kind of turn into like a gym bro as well. Like... To me, getting high is about the taste.
Jekyll or Hyde.
100%.
You're either stoned or you gym, bro.
Dude, 100 fucking percent. Because like, whenever I've been in shape twice, like in my life. Like I joined the army when I was a kid. I was only there for 6 months. Like, and I know how to work out. It's just like whenever I get high, it's just like this shit tastes so good. Like I don't actually give a fuck about calories, right? Like, whereas if I'm not like. They're just numbers. They're just attributes of food. Like when I was when I've been working out in previous seasons, I drink fucking egg whites out of the carton because it's an easy source of protein.
Yeah.
And if you can take a shot of tequila or a shot of Jameson, you can fucking drink egg whites. It just tastes like salty water a little bit. Like it really is easy. But yeah, I don't know where that tangent went off. But so fitness, would you say that fitness is something that makes somebody attractive?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I did not like, and maybe I'm just stupid, right? Like, but I did not understand that context in the sexual marketplace. Then again, I've never had any issues. Like getting dates or dating people. Like getting somebody to bang me out on a mattress topper, right? Like so. I guess I never just internalized that, and but now it makes sense to me. I'm like, okay, that's the game. That's the fucking game. Fuck it, like
yeah.
Greg, what are you looking for right now?
In my life,
in terms of dating.
Oh, I was gonna say like my birth parents, but
my dad to come back to life.
Fuck, that was a good one. People never zing him at me. I appreciate that. He's not gonna. I've tried a lot of necromancy. It's just fucking my life up. I don't know. It depends on the person, honestly. The previous relationship I got, it wasn't even like I thought it was going in a direction. And then she was like, hey, have you been telling people we're dating? And I was like, no.
Is this the tall girl?
Like, okay, good. And I was like, oh, man, that... That didn't feel good.
Yeah, I would cry. That would take me out.
Is this the tall lady? that you're
Yeah,
talking
she
about?
did come back and apologize. She was like, that was...
Yeah, that was brutal.
Pretty
That's
mean.
That's super brutal.
yeah, my feelings aren't
That's
hurt.
great.
Hurt my feelings.
100 crying emojis in your notes app.
Flat eyes, flat eyes, flat eyes. Yeah, but I'm very open to like anything, honestly.
What attributes? Like personality wise?
Oh. It has to be like sense of humor, I think, is number one for me. And intelligent. And honestly, those two like are just the checkbox. Like I'm like, if you are funny and smart, you can be pretty mean or like selfish, and I'll just overlook some of it.
Really?
Like, if I can enjoy banter and
You just need someone to tell you you're a good boy.
yeah, but like not all the time. Don't overdo
Yeah.
it. It's got to be strategic moments.
All right. Okay.
Like when I've made a sandwich for dinner.
Yes.
No, I like kindness is important.
Yeah.
Empathy, I think, is more important than like I don't do well with people that are like overly let me be as nice and like kind and positive. It's like toxic positivity where I'm like, I like somebody who's very grounded in like a certain cynicism in life.
That's true.
And sometimes that comes with some meanness, but
Toxic
like
positivity is
it drives me
annoying.
crazy.
Does
Yeah.
her financial situation have any weight?
Absolutely not. No.
How
I mean,
about
it
for
would be
you?
dope if
How
they
about
were
for you, Emily?
Yeah. Wait.
I like the contrast thing. I get it.
Yeah, obviously.
That's just the difference between men and women. I think.
I'm not gonna date like a homeless man.
Well, that okay,
Would you
it's
date
not-
somebody that works on McDonald's?
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, it depends.
He's 32 and he works at McDonald's.
Wait, is his schedule weird? And is that like his only source of income?
That's the only thing that you know so far about this person.
Oh, probably not.
You get free McDonald's.
I don't like McDonald's that much.
You know nothing?
No, get me a man who works at Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean?
My pleasure.
But
And he
I thought you
says
said
that
the
in
Jesus
the
thing
bedroom,
was a deal
too.
breaker.
Every time you say thank you, my pleasure. Oh, that's fucking dark. Yeah, the little Chick-fil-A fuckboy. So, I think it's important though. I got
Well,
into an
it's like
argument the other day with my
I
friend
like
about
to
this.
do things. Like I'm an adventurous person, and,
sure.
you know. And if you're like, I can't afford to like go out or travel or like do things. Like I'm not saying like I'm going on like luxury excursions all the time, but it's like if you literally can't afford to go out to dinner, then it's like that's kind of a bummer.
Okay, yeah, no, that's reasonable. But like somebody being, let's say, rich versus just like a normie, is there a difference of attraction between like same person? Well, no.
I mean, yeah, if you're like carbon copy, same person, and one is a millionaire, obviously, like you're gonna go for the millionaire. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're gonna be average people, and then the other person's like, we're gonna summer in Costa Rica or whatever. I don't know what rich people say.
Overrated. Wyoming is where it's at.
Wyoming, okay. They're like, yeah, I have a second house in Jackson Hole.
North Dakota. Did you like the movie Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp, like the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
The coming of age tale where the very poor
Oh,
dog
okay.
falls in love with the rich dog.
Right. Well, she's got enough money for. If I was like a millionaire, then the money would not be as big of an issue either. Because it's like, oh, you can't afford to go out to dinner. That's cool because I have enough money for the both of us.
I think the important lesson though is that he contributed by finding an alleyway spaghetti dinner.
Yeah.
So if somebody serves,
I mean, that is also a good, that's a green flag for this dog.
it's alleyway spaghetti.
He put a whole thing together. He put effort in and made it happen. So good for that dog. That's a good dog right there.
What if the dog doesn't have a bed frame?
Immediately no. He's going to the pound.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder how old of a person. Like, what's the oldest person you've seen on a dating app?
Like, I mean, I have my age range cut off at like 40.
Oh, that's very close. I keep mine to 100.
And what's the oldest you've seen?
Like 40. But if I ran across
But that's your filters. You know, your filters are determining. What's the youngest you would go while we're going here? Both of you. Youngest you would go and oldest you would go.
Probably like 25 is the youngest.
Really?
Or 26. Actually, probably, 26 or 27. And then oldest would probably be like late 30s, maybe 40.
Not 45, like...
No, I think 45 would be too old. You know, you got to have cutoffs.
Is it bad to say like the lowest would be like 24?
What do you have in common with 24-year-olds?
I don't. Maybe they're an artist.
Literally a whole nother generation.
I was asking. I didn't get
Maybe they're an artist. Is the best answer.
You said, "Is it bad?" And that was my response.
All right. Well, okay.
Oldest?
It depends on how youthful of an.
If you said 24 as the oldest, then it would really be a problem.
Oldest. I dated a 38-year-old last year, and it was like 40. It just like it's a different.
Yeah, and that's how like the younger people might feel about you.
Well, then that's they can feel that way. And then it won't work. Well, like I don't know. At that point, you can have a conversation. I've like a lot of my coworkers are in their young 20s, and we get along.
Okay.
Like they're smart people. We can have conversations.
Okay.
Jesus, fuck.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Look, Leo can date 19-year-olds, and
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio, didn't he do
Oh, yeah, that's super fucked up.
that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's a predator.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, dude, are you saying that 19-year-olds don't have agency?
I'm not saying they don't have agency. I'm saying their brain isn't fully developed.
That is factual.
That's
factual.
science.
That's factual. Fair enough.
That's fair.
But I don't know if he's dating them for their brain.
Exactly why he's a predator.
What if they were a genius?
So then, like, what does that mean with people dating for sexual attraction, right? Because if there's times where people are not dating, you know, like, for example, one night stands, are they being driven by the brain? Maybe not.
No.
And how do we square him being like, you know, just sexualize him and looking for, you know, like maybe more of a sexual being than, you know, like a mentally stimulating, you know.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because my parents were like 7.5 years apart. But they also met when my dad was 40 and my mom was 33.
Yeah.
Is that a problematic age gap?
No.
Well, it doesn't matter because he's dead now. But like, what's it? Okay, so like it's contextual of like where you're at in the course of life. And, all right.
Obviously, because there's a 7-year age gap between a 15-year-old and a 22-year-old.
And like a 1-year-old and an 8-year-old, but like.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so what's the biggest?
But that's like a thing where 22-year-olds will go for.
Oh. Yeah.
15-year-old, like 22-year-old men will
Fucking
try to
Alabama,
date.
man. Alabama, Mississippi. Trailer people.
Yeah.
Kansas as well. They have like pretty lax laws with that shit.
Yep. In North Carolina, they like just raised the legal age to get married to 16. It was 14 before that for the longest time.
The age?
But only for women. This rule only applies to women.
So a boy could get married at 9 or 10?
No, a boy can't get married till he's 18.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, pretty fucked up.
Is society
is that fucked
unequal
up.
to women?
Yeah. What? I know.
Interesting. This is very Game of Thrones.
They just made the age of consent in France 14 after having no age of consent there at all.
How
That's
progressive of them,
fucking
man.
wild.
I mean,
How progressive.
yeah, good for them for finally having an age of consent.
Jesus Christ, France.
What again? What's your favorite dating apps, both of you?
Uber Eats.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know where they
How
live.
does
that way.
So, are you the driver or are you the person ordering?
What do you mean?
Like as the Uber Eats dating app, like are you like to get a date? Are you ordering the food and being like I'm gonna invite the driver in to share the meal?
What food? Yeah, I match with them. It gives me a match.
Anyway, I use Tinder and Hinge.
Yeah, Tinder and Hinge. Sometimes Bumble.
Bumble's the worst one.
I think Bumble's garbage.
Yeah, because it's like, it is garbage.
It changes. I don't think the dynamic is right. Like, all of a sudden, women have to message you. I think, like, generally speaking, in my experience, women like to be pursued, not the one fucking having to chase the guy because they might be chasing a tool.
I want to be told I'm a good boy.
Then again, that's my opinion. You're inside why.
Make that your profile description.
Yeah.
I want to be told I'm a good boy.
Yeah, or like you should like looking back, like come chase this, ladies.
Holding a frisbee.
Yeah.
I think we should.
You've got cameras.
I think we should make Greg's new dating profile solely based on him being a good boy.
You know what? I think you should make each other's like you make Greg's dating profile and you're the one that has full control of it, and you make her dating profile.
Yeah.
And you have full control of it. Yeah. But what do you think that Bumble, in your opinion, is garbage?
I mean, I feel like I have to come up with something a lot better than what I would than like just being like, hey, what's up? And then men also feel like you need to come at me with something since you're the one, like, since that's how this app works.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, it is how it
I don't
works.
think
Like,
that's too different from what I've said either.
I don't know. I just feel like there's more like expectation on the messaging to be like.
And you're not into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you ever date a furry?
I would not. I used to work for a publishing house as an editor for fantasy, and then a few months into it, the guy was like, hey, we also have this other portion of our publishing house that does furry erotica. Would you like to try it? And I was like, honestly, I'm making money. Like, fuck yeah. And it would always start off as like an innocent tale of like woodland critters like going on a quest.
Of course.
And then it would just turn into a gangbang at some point, like dog and cat and like horse. And it just...
Oh, no.
And you have to offer professional criticism. Like,
Oh my God.
Professional criticism, go see a therapist.
the proportions of this don't work. A horse can't give
my
69 to a rabbit. That's impossible.
Literally.
So no, long story short.
Yeah. Is there what's like the weirdest kink that you would still be okay with?
Give him a list. Give him a list of kinks. That way
Okay,
he can,
so like if they were like, I like to be walked around on a leash.
I'm here for that.
Okay. Little Greg's open.
Yeah.
Ladies. That was me to the world.
Wait, am I on the leash or are they on the leash?
Oh, that's a...
Because if they told me I'm a good boy, then I'm into it.
Oh, you're
Fuck it.
absolutely. That wasn't even like
Like
that
we
wasn't
can do Tuesdays is me and
wants to
Thursdays
be on
is
the,
you.
That could also be in your profile to show your like kinkier side. Your Have you seen people like walking their significant other around in public on leashes? Oh, I've seen that. I saw that at Goodwill once.
What?
Yes. And I was like, that's how you two like to express yourself.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, literally, that was my... I was like, that's cool. I'm going to go to the other aisle now.
It seems dangerous, really. That's what I'm like, if you get caught on something, then
yeah.
you could hurt yourself. But maybe that's the thrill.
That's exactly it. The people who like to, choke out a little.
And what if you clothesline somebody else?
Then you got yourself a unicorn.
Okay, yeah, I'm here for the leash thing. Do you have any other kinks?
Let me think of oh my gosh, the like baby kink. Have you seen that?
Oh, like where they pretend to be a baby?
Yeah.
No, hard pass.
Would you pretend to be a baby?
Yeah, that might be kind of fun.
They were
Wait,
like,
like
if they were like, call me mommy.
I would do that.
Okay.
It's not my favorite, but like if that's what gets you off, then like fuck it.
You're like,
I'll
I'll call you mommy.
I will not like shit my pants for you.
No.
How do you feel about calling a man daddy?
Absolutely not.
No. Not at all.
No.
What about dad?
A father.
What about papa?
Papa. Yeah.
You mean like? You mean daddy just like not only in the sexual context, you know?
No,
like,
specifically sex.
Yeah,
Like, papa, like rail me
Papa.
harder.
what if she responded like,
Please,
yes,
Papa."
daddy, just like in a sexy way, like if you ask her something, she's like, yes, daddy, like would that be a red flag?
It's not a red flag. It's just like we are never going to talk about your childhood at all. Like, it's going to be a nightmare for me.
Have you ever said yes, daddy to somebody, maybe even not in a sexual context?
No. Okay. I mean, in a like jokingly, sarcastically, probably, but that just I'm like, it's not for me. I have a good relationship with my father, so doesn't appeal.
Surprisingly enough, my ex I think has a good relationship with her father, but she did say that to me.
I like to call my friends daddy in Target.
I love that. That's cute.
And then ask for like magic markers. Makes them very uncomfortable.
Would you watch Hallmark movies? If you were dating a girl and she was like really into Hallmark movies, would you sit through the Hallmark movies with her?
How stoned am I in this?
You are allowed to get stoned.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if she's like anti-weed? Well, that's probably.
I'm not opposed to that. She just has to be okay with me. Like,
Yeah. What if she's like not okay? What if she's like, you need to be.
Yeah, if you have to hide it.
Would you hide it? When partners are like, I don't want you to be high around me. I get that because it's like, all right, am I really connecting with this moment?
How long since your last long-term relationship, and how long was it, and why do you think it didn't work out? Whichever one you can start.
I've only had one long-term relationship.
That's a red flag. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm 28. I don't think that's a red flag.
Well, what do you mean? How long was this long-term relationship?
2 years.
Yeah, that's a red flag. But
What?
I don't know. My longest has been 2 years.
when are you turning 29?
Oh, in like a week. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy early
That's right,
birthday.
because you're
I'm a
a
Cancer.
crab.
Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was it?
That was like recently. We broke up in March
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. And what do you think it didn't work out?
because we disagreed on how clean the house should be and how late he should be out. And
Like, were you the more cleanly one in this scenario? Yeah.
And, having goals.
Like the first two and then the third. And then just, life aspirations generally.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big one.
Yeah,
that's
it
tough.
was-
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
And, yeah.
What was the final straw? Because you were together for 2 years, so it didn't build to that, right?
Yeah, no, it was like we moved in together, and I was like, let's be clean. And he like didn't pay bills for a while and was like, well, just remind me to do things. And I was like, I don't want to be up your ass about bills. Like if I text you once, these are the bills. Like I expect that to be enough.
Oh yeah, at least you texted him.
Yeah,
that
it's
is
not like
a
it was
reminder in
mystery.
itself.
It's not like he didn't know what the bills were.
Is he an adult?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's why it didn't work out.
What's the thing that attracted you most to this relationship, or why you ended up dating?
Because it was fun. I was like, you're fun to hang out with, and like we had chemistry.
Okay.
Should I book him for a show?
No. I mean, yes. You
No,
should.
it was a joke.
You can book him.
Is
for
he a
show.
comic?
So
That's a yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen him at any mics. Have you?
no.
Oh, you know who this person is.
Well,
Yeah.
vaguely. I saw Emily and your partner at the time.
Yeah.
At Zog's open mic, and I think you went first and like crushed it. It was funny, and then
Yeah,
he went
and
up
then he
there and was
bombed.
like, "I'm having like a competition with my girlfriend to like see who can laugh or like get more laugh," and then like proceeded to just.
Oh,
bomb
do you think
for 5
relationships between comics can work?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as one person is definitely funnier than the other.
And they're aware of that.
And they're okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he was very okay with that. He wanted to be the funnier one because he was the one that got me into comedy.
That's tough.
I know.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Truly.
You took my thing.
Yeah, I did. I truly.
You did this, you know, like it was his choice.
I really did. And now, you know, I'm friends with a lot of the comics. So I really did just take his thing.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't.
He has
pay
to move to
bills.
another city. He really that's the only answer.
Yeah, he might have. Again, I don't know.
If he wants to do comedy, he can't be in the same scene, you know?
Not anymore.
Be a constant reminder now, especially if he feels about
Yeah.
it, you know? Yeah, how about you, Greg? What was your longest term relationship and how long was it?
2 years from when I was 21 to 23.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way more of a red flag.
I know it was coming.
Yeah.
And we were into each other because I think we both found each other attractive, and we're like drunk all the time because we're in college. And then it ended because
You cheated on her.
no.
Just kidding.
I was very much in love with her, but
Oh,
she, and I don't like use this lightly, but she like was pretty bad at gaslighting.
Oh, yeah. I've been through it. Yeah, it's tough.
And would like routinely there was like an inability to admit fault or like error in any sense. And I wasn't like demanding, like, you have to tell me, like, sorry, but like
bad at gaslighting, like she was bad at doing it, or she just did it a lot?
she did it a lot, yeah. And would like kind of remember things in ways that like would always kind of reconstruct the scenario in a way that I was the villain. And I was fully well. I'm like, yeah, that was my bad. I fucked
Sounds
up.
like my
But
last
there were many
relationship.
other times
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you definitely fucked up. Can you just say that and then we can move on?
Yeah.
And then she got hit by a truck. So
Shut up. No, did she
got
really?
pancaked by a dump truck. Yeah.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. She I don't even know. She's like the only ex that I have no contact or like any interest in
Wow.
like knowing if she's where or what. Yeah.
Do you like? Okay, thank you. And I have a question for you both in a moment. But along this line, so now that you're on the marketplace, are you just like out there puta hunting, or are you just like looking for like a longer term thing? What is your dating goals?
It
there?
doesn't make it any better saying Puta Hunting.
Okay, sorry. Ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah.
I've come at it. I'm just open minded about it. Like,
Okay.
I've
So you
gotten
don't
to the
have any
point in my
focus
life-
in your dating, is what you're saying.
there was a while where I was genuinely like very emotionally unavailable and dealing with some trauma. And
Yeah.
Puta hunting.
Yep.
yeah, I was a fuckboy just through and through. In like a respectful way, but also like in like we've hung out for 3 weeks. That seems like that's about the length of this relationship. And I'm getting tired of that. I just want to like watch movies with somebody and then have them give me the Heimlich if I need it.
Yeah.
And right now,
Do you want any kids? Do you want to have kids?
depends on the person.
Obvious fucking
Well,
late.
I mean, like, okay, because
Ideal scenario, because I think it's a tough question. You know, it's a very it's a committal question, right? And this scenario is any questions that I'm asking is with the right person, because obviously with the wrong person, as I mentioned earlier, right? Like I'm not against it, but I'm not looking for that, right? If you I'm not looking to date for a few weeks unless it's just a person that you're just gonna date for a few weeks, right? Like, but it's not like the you know, like when I'm matching with somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a girl that I can just crack open and clean out for a little while, and then I'm on my way, Yeah.
I think like the radical part of me is like, no, fuck, like having kids is so bad. But I also like really like the idea of being a dad
Yeah.
and like teaching a child stuff.
What would you teach them?
Like all
Besides
of it.
Puta hunting, obviously, like, that's a given. But
I don't know. All of my life, like, I've either been like a coach or a teacher for something. I think I just like forcing somebody to look at the world the way that I want them to look at it in no other ways.
would
And
you?
That's parenthood.
That's parenthood, yeah.
Yeah. All these
not-
questions.
You're
are-
ready.
yeah.
You're ready for it.
You shut the fuck up. Go to your room. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
practicing.
I believe that.
Yeah.
No nurturing whatsoever. I want to be cold.
Follow-up question. Would you, it's a two-part question. Would you date a woman with children already from a previous relationship, and B, it's a follow-up question, would you adopt a child?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
Depending on how athletic the adopted child is. I don't want any slowies.
Yeah. You know, if she's Cuban, maybe you can get, like an MLB player out of it,
That would be sick.
Yeah.
If they have stats on that, like what's your 40 time?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Are you benching?
As a baby.
Well, let them get a little older.
Oh, okay.
But like the baby's weight can also tell you, like if it's a big baby, like that's a potential athlete. If you're getting a preemie, then like,
You don't know.
yeah, you just don't. It's
It's a mystery.
a wonder ball of neurological anomaly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Emily, and now you. What is your current goal of dating? Like an
Yeah.
ideal scenario, right?
I mean, eventually, like, to be in a relationship,
What does eventually mean as far as time frame?
like, within a couple years.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to just, like, get into a relationship with
Yeah.
the
You're
first
like my
person I
sexual.
like.
You're like my sexual market value is still high. Like so until it declines, I don't need to settle down for anything. Do I have that understood correctly?
I mean, that's not exactly how I'm thinking about it, but I guess that's kind of how it is. But I don't really like casual sex, so I like ideally dating someone monogamously, whether it's like just a couple months or like actually turns into something. That's like I guess the only thing I've settled on. In
Right.
terms
So
of goals.
right now you're still okay, and that because that will affect your swipe, patterns. I think
Yeah.
and probably the reason why you have a lot of bad dates, if I'm being honest with you.
What? Why?
Because like you're not pre-selecting for what you want in a couple of years. You're
Oh.
pre-selecting for where you're at right now.
Yeah, I am pre-selecting for what I want in a couple years, but it's not like just because this person like meets the criteria of what I would want in a relationship doesn't mean I want to be in a relationship with them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. Like once again, my diagnosis remains. And hey, I'm not faulting you for it. Like I 100%. Listen, I think there's no way for anybody to fail in life by being themselves, right? My contention most of the time is as long as they're being honest with themselves, because a lot of people are just not honest with themselves, and then like they can get upset at how certain things in life come up, and it's like, well, if you were honest with yourself and know what you wanted, then you would not be surprised at this result, and if it's not what you want, to be honest with yourself, right? Like this follow-up question, the same question that I asked Greg: do you want children, or do you want to have children?
Not right now.
Like, but is that like something that listen,
like-
right now you just want to get cracked up and cleaned out? We understand.
No, that is not what I just said.
Monogamously.
I said
okay?
I don't like casual sex.
No, I said monogamously.
In,
Okay.
in a real monogamous way.
Yeah, in a real monogamous way. In a non-puta hunting way, like.
Yeah. Okay.
But ideally, you like to be a mom?
I don't know. Maybe it's
Maybe? Okay.
not something I'm like would say is a goal.
What is your ideal, and follow-up question now where you mentioned that, what's your ideal age range that you're currently searching for as dating, right? Because what you might have searched 2 years ago or 2 years from now might be different. And the follow-up question is, because depending on your answer, I'll be like, well, first I'll let you give your answer.
Oh, like age range?
Yeah.
It's like
ideal age. If all the criteria are met currently, what age do you want to date?
my probably like 27 to 35 is.
Okay, if you had to choose a number.
If I had to choose a number, oh my gosh, I don't know, 30.
Because okay, perfect. The reason why I ask is because there's a and correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of difference between a 27-year-old man and a 35-year-old man.
Yeah.
Where they're at, So like a 35-year-old man might be much more. Oh well,
maybe
leave
I've
that in
met
their
some.
mind,
I don't know. I've met
right?
some 35-year-old men who are not in
Oh,
the
of
same
course.
place
Yeah,
as like some
absolutely.
27-year-old men. That I've met.
Absolutely. Okay, and what was? Oh, the next question that I had is: would you date a man that has children already? And follow-up question: would you adopt a child?
No to the first question because I'm not signing up to be a parent at this time. So it's like just there would be tension in the relationship because I don't want to be a parent at this time. And yes, I would adopt a child.
Okay, cool. It's interesting.
I feel like adopting a child feels better than having one of my own.
Yeah.
Like I'm got
Any
some real-
races you wouldn't adopt?
wouldn't?
Yeah.
No.
You say reasons or races?
Races?
Races.
Are you a race? Are you a bigot?
Canadians. I don't want
Okay.
that shit in my house.
Okay. Now that I just thought of another
It's a
question.
joke. It's a joke, Canadians.
You better be careful.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
With the lighting, he doesn't look as white, so I think you're in the clear.
Right? I'm like, I could dye my hair dark brown and be a Latina.
well, isn't your hair dark brown as it is?
Kind of, yeah, I guess so. I feel like it needs to be, I don't know.
It's dark brown.
It is dark brown. I mean,
don't know, but
I don't know how you go darker without it being black.
Black.
You know,
Dye my hair black and then I'll be a Latina.
If I can just broad brush all female identifying people for a second.
Okay.
that's a very progressive term.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. I
excited
liked it.
for you to
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
make a generalization.
Just for the whole population. Y'all are like very wrong about hair colors and like
Oh, interesting.
there's been many times where I'm like, oh, that person is like brunette.
And they're like, I'm
And
blonde.
then I'm told very firmly that I'm wrong. And I'm like, nope. But that's the color though.
Oh, I guess I think of like, I was like, Arturo's hair is dark brown. Cause like,
Thank you. Fucking thank you. Like,
I mean, I think of like, I don't know. People don't really have like,
well,
straight
you
up
know a lot of
black hair.
Latinos and it's castaño, but like my ex-girlfriend's like, your hair is black. I'm like, no. If I was Chinese, my hair would be black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
I'm like, my hair's brown. It's not light brown or dark brown. It's just
Yeah.
regular. Yeah, that's what
Okay, in that
Blonde.
context, I understand what you mean then.
No.
what.
Well, you're
you
fucking blonde, bro. What are you talking about?
What color is your hair?
It's like
Like a sandy.
a sunshine. Sunshine on the beach.
Do you dye your tips?
Yeah, you get a little frosty.
No, but when I was a kid growing up, it was like when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were real popular,
Yeah,
and all my
yeah.
friends had dark hair, and they were getting frosted tips. And I begged my parents to let me dye my hair black so that I could get frosted tips. And my mom said no, and I stood to this day. I'm like, thank God
Yeah,
for that,
she
Sylvia.
really-
Shout out to you, Mom.
Yeah. As a mom, I would have been like, yeah, let's do it. I would have been like, you know what? Bullying is character building. Let's go for it.
I think she knew I was already getting the bullying a lot. And she was like, we don't need more. Like, they already call you Biscuit. That's too much.
They called you Biscuit?
Yeah, they did call me Biscuit.
Why did they call you Biscuit?
Okay. There's two versions. The story that I like to live with is that I used to laugh at particular phrasing, and for whatever reason, I thought the term biscuits and gravy was really funny, and I would go into like little laughing spasms. I might have been like neurologically,
Probably.
yeah. But it also, like, I was a chubby, pasty white kid, and so I think those two things kind of like coincided.
Wow. At least you weren't like doughboy. Pillsbury doughboy, you know?
No, yeah, I think.
So Biscuit, you could have been worse.
And then people would call me that in like the hallway and in public. And I just leaned into it. I was like, that's cool. I got a nickname. And now I'm like, uh-oh. That was just, you're the butt of a joke right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Now, question for you: if you both had children, is spanking a tool in your arsenal for discipline if the other tools don't work? And once again, all children are different, And, I think, some children can just be given a timeout and they'll be cool. But,
How big is the kid?
I would say spanking, no, that just feels like weird. But I'm not like, if I see a parent give their kid a little, pop in the back of the head, I'm going to be like, I'm not going to think badly of that person.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, like you shouldn't hate your kids, but like
Sometimes they deserve it.
just a small hit.
Just a little. Sometimes you just need a little wake up.
Yeah. That if you look at animals,
Sorry.
like that's how all the rest of the animal kingdom does it.
Yeah.
I was
Spanking's
spanked as a
weird
kid.
though. That's like a weird dynamic. It's like, all right, bend over. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how to say it like that. I will say,
yeah, go
having
ahead.
had 2 psychologists for parents, that psychological warfare is so much more effective than any sort of physical. My dad tried spanking and then quit after
Are
a
they
while.
white?
And just started to emotionally.
Both of your
abuse me.
parents are white, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that's
they
okay.
weren't the like go get a switch type of spanking.
Well, they're both like religious,
Yeah. Okay.
but no, they didn't make me go.
The
get
religious
branches.
South is intense. Everyone's like, white people are like so soft. And it's like, if you get into like the religious Southern white people, they have some like fucked up punishments.
They were like Midwestern transplants to the South, where everything's like the worst combo because you're just
Yeah.
taking all of it.
I heard like people would say that their parents would make them like kneel on grits for like a long time.
Like the food grits?
Yes.
Why? When it's uncooked, it's very hard. and,
Yeah,
like,
it's
sharp.
like it's like literal torture.
Well,
It's
how else
like,
would you remember
it's
God?
like you're in timeout while you're like kneeling on grits.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
You know, the trick for that is just to eat the grits. And then your stomach gets very large and you have to go to the hospital. And then they'll never give you raw grits again.
Yeah.
Then they're like, this kid's special.
I, and once again, I was born in a different country, so take this as you may. I think it should be in the arsenal, but once again, it's like I think psychologists get a micro focus on like almost like in a vacuum, spanking in a vacuum, and the way that at least my mom thought about it is like it's a reward and punishment. You don't need to like after a certain age, you don't need to spank them, but it just needs to be early enough, right? And with a reward component as well. You're not just getting spanked where you're doing things bad. Where you're doing things well, you are getting rewarded for that. So it's really just an incentives thing. And she always mentioned that it should hurt the parent more to spank the child than the actual spanking, because it's not meant, the spanking is not meant to hurt. It's meant to psychologically, something bad, right? And my brother didn't need it. I definitely needed it. But like here you see children running away from their parents. My mom would always be like, you better not run away because then the punishment will be twice as bad. And she also said, you better not lie to me. She's like, if you tell me the truth, there may be a chance that I can understand where you're coming from. But if you lie to me, you're getting double punished no matter what. And it wasn't always spanking, right? But it's almost in a way used as a way to teach, to reason to humans that at the time are just looking how to problem solve to get from point A to point B without the intended consequences that it might have, And they were also very unified as parents that if you ask me and I say no, you better not ask your dad because then you're definitely getting punished, And I'm just mentioning the punishment side of it, but, there are plenty of fights. And in my mind, for example, I didn't smoke weed till I was 18. I'd be like, no, my mom will fucking kick my ass, even though she hadn't spanked me forever. I mean, when I was 13, she did hit me with a PVC pipe,
Hell yeah, she did.
One time we were like, well, except
Woman
for that
after
time.
my own heart.
She had moved here with me, as a single mom at the time, right? And, I was getting larger, right? And I remember the exact moment, and it happened a couple of times, but where... she I think tried to spank me or whatever, and it no longer hurt. And I remember I let out a little, and,
Oh shit!
and my mom,
She did not like that.
Literally, I used to say, my mom will grab whatever fucking thing is closest to her, and she grabbed it, and I'm like, does this hurt? No, and I'm like, yeah, mommy, oh, it hurts. And the contention was I'd rather correct this now than a cop beat you later on in life because you were not able to stay within the bounds.
That's kind of...
That is so real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
That's a next level. Thinking about it.
Yeah, you know, like I have this philosophy that there are no solutions in life. There are only trade-offs. And, you know, like sometimes I think we live in this world where we like to think of idealized scenarios where life is much messier than that. So it's really what is the trade-off that you're willing to have, you know?
What is your relationship to PVC now?
There was PVC all over the ground here before I cleaned it up.
Right.
My bunny's cages are made out of PVC.
Oh, so it's almost like swinging the other way with it.
Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, so if you were like, let's say if you were about to talk, and we'll start with you, Greg, and then we'll start with you, and let's say on like a dating app is looking at your potential match is looking at your profile. Mm-hmm. Give your best pitch, you, Greg, to this outside camera on why they should date you. And you can take a couple minutes to think about it if you want.
I'm ready. I've got mine.
Okay, your camera is that one over there.
Okay. Hello. I'm fun. Buy me a drink. And that's it.
You're fun. Buy her a drink. She's not looking for a long-term commitment, gentlemen. So you know, take that as you may. You know. Are you ready, Greg?
Yeah. We live in a world full of danger. I can do 12 push-ups. And I once owned a pair of nunchucks. I've been told that I'm good at parties. I've also been told that I'm decent at the saxophone. I can make sandwiches of all varieties.
Yeah, you can cook them, you know?
And I'm working on getting a bed frame. It broke recently.
Wow, I loved that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. If you're a 20-year-old man, what is the largest age gap down that you should be dating?
Oh, like a year, 2 years, maybe.
So 18.
You're like, yeah, it has to be 18.
Literally.
Okay.
Legally speaking.
Yeah.
If you're
But, like, even
willing
that
to
would
go
be weird.
below that,
Isn't there like a 3-year rule or some bullshit like that within
I don't
3 or
think
4
so.
years, or there used to be, or something
only
like that?
if you get the girl pregnant and have the parents' permission to marry them.
Okay.
Is that real?
That's real.
I know.
Where do we fucking live?
It's been 18 years since
America.
I was fucking 20, so like, you know.
Yeah,
And
no.
So you agree with
a
Greg
year.
on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. 25.
Like, I could see dating a 21-year-old as a 25-year-old if they can drink.
That's your max gap? You
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
max? How about you?
I agree with that.
Okay.
It's weird when, because the United States, we have the like 21 cutoff. So it's like weird if you can't like go get a drink with someone.
Do you think it would be, your response would be different if we were in another country where 18 is the
Possibly.
drinking age? Okay.
Possibly. I don't know.
All right. 30.
Well, I feel like I already showed my hand. Like, I would say 24, 25.
How about you? What's the maximum gap that you think is acceptable? And this is all opinion based, right? Like if you're 30.
I mean, that's like dependent on like life experiences too.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like max range, you can be
I
make
mean,
ideal
if
scenarios.
someone, I think like 24.
What if she's a veteran?
I disagree. I think you
No.
should be able to go down to 21 if you're 30. But that's cool.
I mean, I don't think there are very many 21-year-olds who are that mature.
Are there any?
Like, it's possible. Like, yes, but I don't know.
I think men just start becoming mature after right about 30, maybe a little before, maybe a little after. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely,
less mature.
if you were like 30 dating a 21-year-old, I'd be like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
35, Greg.
Again, I think 25 until you hit the age of like,
Once your brain's fully developed.
yeah. I mean, at that point,
Literally.
Yeah.
you're like a consenting adult that has enough life experience that I think it's weird past like 40, maybe.
So for 30, your answer is still 25.
Yeah.
What do you think for 30, the bottom maximum
30?
threshold?
30 or 35?
Did we already
wait,
do
We
no,
30?
did
yeah,
30.
30, yeah.
Okay, so
35.
35. Yeah.
I would also, if someone was like a 25-year-old dating a 35-year-old, I'd have questions, but I wouldn't immediately be like predator. I just have questions.
Okay, so it's a 10-year gap then. Okay. 40.
I feel like that's also another 10-year gap. If
Yeah.
40-year-old dating a 25-year-old, I'm like
not a great look.
little predatory.
So if I'm 38, I'm dating a 25-year-old, that's predatory?
It depends. I mean, like, do you want to date a 25-year-old?
I don't know. Like, I don't look at ages like that. Like, I've dated...
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like,
But I would not limit
if you
my
were,
pool.
if you, as my friend, you were like, I'm dating this 25-year-old, I'd be like, Arturo, what? I mean, like, why?
What would dude say if one of their friends was dating a 25-year-old and they're 38?
Do you feel like the man would be like tricking or like?
I think it's like, as like, I'm just thinking of like myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
As a
Yeah.
like 25-year-old me was not the smartest, and like
I think you're smart now.
I'm very smart now.
Fuck.
But like I'm just saying,
Would
like
you say your approach to dating was different when you were 25?
Yeah, I did-
than you're
like, I didn't
because
give
you
a-
were in a long-term relationship for 2 years when you
Yeah.
were 26. Arguably, you're 26 and a half.
yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I mean, I like definitely made a lot of mistakes. I guess I'm thinking more like probably before 25, like where I'm thinking I was. But yeah, I think
Because
like
the 25 is out of probably, if they've gone to college,
Yeah.
out of college, a few years into their
and it depends
professional
on the
career.
intention, like of the man. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
and
like
whether,
I think there's more room for like bad intentions and like more of a possibility that bad intentions are there.
okay,
For sure.
But it's not like there's definitely bad intentions.
yeah. Let's bring it down. How old are you?
32.
You're about to turn 33.
No, I just turned 32.
Okay, you just turned 32. 32. What's the maximum age range down that 32 should go?
Like 24 or 25. Like if Greg, I'm just thinking if Greg was like telling me about a girl and it was like 24 or 25, I'd be like, okay. I would have maybe a couple questions, but I wouldn't be like, but if you were like, I'm dating a 21-year-old, I'd be like, I'd have more questions.
She reads at a 22-year-old level.
Right.
She orders herself on the menu.
Yeah.
And what do we say? 40, 30, right? 30 was your answer.
Yeah.
Is 30 your answer as well?
I would say like late 20s if you're a 40-year-old.
What is late
Yeah.
20s?
That's true.
Like
Because
27 to 30, I think is like
Okay.
a
Yeah,
I guess
27.
I should say that too, because I also am like, I would date possibly a 40-year-old.
There are no wrong answers here, by the way. I'm just,
I
you
know,
like,
unless it's like illegal.
yeah, of course, of course.
Unless you out yourself as a
Yeah.
pedophile. That's the wrong answer.
Okay, 45. Greg, what is the bottom range on 45?
30.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think at the point of 30, like
I
you
agree.
are an adult that has lived enough life that like
I
if
like
you want
that,
a fucking 90-year-old,
that the
then,
range
like,
are getting larger. At 45, that's a 15
Well,
year
yeah,
range.
of course. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
once you're 30, and like had a serious relationship, like you've gone through a lot of things by the age of 30. Much more than by the age of like 21 or
Okay,
25.
so
You're getting
question
tricked at the
to you,
age of
to you that I've just thought of. What is the incentive for, and once again, we're just talking about generalities, for a 35-year-old or 40-year-old man to date a 30-year-old above woman when he can date her at 45 anyways as well?
well,
Like, why
do
would a
you
man
like her?
date younger when he
Why
can
would he date
older?
older when he can date him older later when he's older as well? Or to select for that?
I mean, superficial things.
Yeah. No, I just thought of the question.
Yeah.
I'm just asking because the gaps are getting larger. You know?
I mean, if you're 40 and unwilling to date a 45-year-old, I would kind of be a little like.
Fair enough.
I'd be like, if I were on a date with a 40-year-old and they were like gross 45-year-old women, I'd probably be like, that's.
Oh, we're gonna get to the women part.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're getting to
Wait
you.
your turn.
Well, and then I'll ask you first because I want to see, like, I don't want your answer to, like, lead his answer and then and vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, 50. What is the bottom range on 50?
I still think 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I
30?
agree with that.
Okay. Not late 20s anymore.
No.
Yeah, that
Okay,
feels.
yeah.
That's a little.
55.
I still think I don't at that point
But at
now
that
I'm
point,
just
it's
casting my
like
judgment
there'd be like, is that a gold digger? Like, is she just waiting for him to,
which in that get good for her.
So if you were
Like, I
30,
don't-
you would date a 55-year-old?
Maybe.
if he's close to
Okay.
death.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I guess I'm like almost. I think about myself and I'm like, I'm almost 30. I really am. Truly. Would I right now? Probably not. Actually, I wouldn't. But if one of my friends was like, I'm dating this 55-year-old man.
You'd be like, he'd have to be fit, right?
I'd be, if he was like on the verge of death, I'd be like, why? You're just waiting for him to die? Mm-hmm. Like, what is going on here? Yeah.
What if sex was off the table? What if it was just what if he's like a accomplished poet and also like a bodybuilder?
What do you mean sex is off the table?
Like, what if he doesn't want to have sex? Like, what if it's just a intimate,
like a friendship? Oh, but you're like married and you don't have sex.
Yeah. Well, more of he doesn't expect sex. Like, is there I guess I'm getting at, can romantic love exist between
there
a
are
30-year-old and a
asexual
60-year-old?
people.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Okay, so here we're going. By the way, quick question, Greg, would you say that was there any kind of mental thing or self-reflective thing that happened to you when you crossed the 30-year-old threshold? Did you feel different?
I think I've gotten more immature and dumber for sure, 100%. I felt more equipped for life at 25 than I do now. I don't know what's happening. Maybe
You've experienced life and realized
it's not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it, but I'm gonna stop trying so hard. I've seen people that tried none and they're doing pretty okay.
Yeah.
So if I just put in a little effort,
Oh yeah.
no, I genuinely didn't change my perspective that much. I still feel youthful.
Hell yeah. Emily, do you think that you look at 30 as a psychological barrier? Does it not matter?
I think it is just because society tells
Because
us
you
it
said
is.
not for a couple of years, and this is in the context of dating, which would put you right at 30, right?
Right. So, yeah, I think societal pressures have a lot. I mean, just as a woman, I experience that a lot of where I'm supposed to be. Again, being tall and being self-conscious about that is also a thing. So, I think
The fucking tallies.
Did you watch
he
how
got burned. Well, okay, but it's not like I'm, anti-short men.
Okay, no, I respect that.
I swear, I've dated a man who was 5'6".
I wasn't accusing you.
Just saying, I'm open.
One of the girls.
would you date a man as short as? I don't know how tall he is.
I'm literally.
That's the shortest person I know. I will bleep out the name. I will bleep out the name.
Identity. All right.
I'm literally twice his size, so I'm that's not even a man. That's also I would not date a woman that small because I'm I don't want to crush my significant other physically.
The only reason why I thought of it is because I was on mic yesterday, and I noticed that he went up on the mic, and he literally moves it entirely out of the way. I think that's so the mic stand doesn't look taller. You know, like, but I found it peculiar because it was specifically moving it way out of frame. You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Now we're talking about 60. Did we already do 60? No.
I still think third. Like, if it's consenting and that person is fully within their mental faculties.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know if I would probably say 40. Like I feel like if that's like
Conservative.
I know.
I like that the age range got higher at 55, but then at 60,
I know.
you went down. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
maybe it would be like 35 at 50. I don't know. It just seems like a little weird. Like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like
It's weird, but like.
yeah, it's weird. I mean, like it's like I wouldn't like report anyone.
That would be such a weird report, dude. Like, yeah, this 30-year-old is dating this 60. Like, what
I
is
think
the problem?
she's being manipulated or whatever. I don't know. I just think that like a 30-year-old dating a 60-year-old, I'm like, are there ulterior motives?
But like, what if it's the 30-year-old's kink to like get that gray bush? I didn't like that I said
I
that.
I didn't like that either. You know, maybe she's just like, 5 more years and we get that pension.
Yeah, there you go.
She's ready to retire too.
Buy one of those moving stair.
Yeah.
chairs. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'd date a 60-year-old if he was like, look, we're about to retire together. I'd be like, that sounds nice.
Yeah. If you could talk about music from.
Cool. Well, we'll get off on ages, and I just had another question. How would you feel first? And I'll start with you, Greg, because I don't want her answer to lead yours. If the person that you were with was making twice as much, as you are, and being the main breadwinner, and then the second question would be half as much.
I don't care in either way.
Okay.
Direction. I mean, as long. The financial element only matters to me so far as we can live comfortably together.
Right. So you think if she made twice as much, it would just be gravy,
That would be terrific. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
That's,
yes.
I
Please.
think in
Make
this
as
day and
much
age,
money.
every man in like this, like in 2023, every man's like, fuck yeah, she makes twice as much as me.
We're extremely lazy and not very smart. So like, if you can pull that shit off, please.
Yeah. How about you? Same question. Twice as much and half as much.
I mean, similar answer. It's like I want to be able to live comfortably and like do things.
If you had a choice.
If I had a choice, obviously more money.
If you had a choice.
More money, yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Like
Yeah.
no one's gonna choose less money.
Okay, fair enough.
That'd be kind of weird.
Well, I
it'd be
think
like,
some men would feel emasculated. Not everyone in this room.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't.
like,
I don't think that's
Very
as much.
fair,
Would you
man.
feel emasculated?
No, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think that's much of a thing anymore,
Yeah.
Cool.
unless you're like super conservative.
Yeah. Okay. It just made me think of a question. In your experience, and I'll ask Greg, and then I'll ask you a similar question. Actually, in your experience, just based off looks alone, not what's in the profile, do you find that the more attractive people on these online dating apps are conservative men or liberal men, just entirely on looks alone?
Oh, liberal man.
Okay. Same question in these dating apps. Just overall spread, attractiveness without reading the profile, just strictly based on looks. Have you found that liberal women or conservative women you find more attractive?
I can tell now without even looking at the bio.
Yeah.
Within like 3 pictures, I'm like, this is a conservative
Okay.
person.
Well, what's the
Wow,
usual
yeah.
telltale sign?
There's usually, it's very. I should preface this by saying like, the more tattoos and piercings, the better. Like that's where I skew towards. But like, it's usually somebody that has like very manicured. The whole thing is like put in. There's like a dress and then like a very intentionally chosen photograph, and there's like 3 of those in a row, and then maybe like a horse, and you're like this person, and then it's like Jesus and my family and Trump. But yeah, there's usually some sort of frilly dress going on, and then like a. And you're like, oh god,
That was a good
fucking, I hate
impression.
I hate it. I mean, you're
One of
good
these?
looking, but like
Once again, based off looks alone.
Like I would.
Because in this scenario, let's say they're
Yeah,
not
out
that.
yourself,
the profile
Greg.
matches whatever you want it to be. So based off looks alone.
Liberals, for sure. Yeah. Again,
okay.
like if you got like a neck tat, let's do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I used to feel that way as well.
Now, how do you feel?
I don't know. I don't know, like...
He just got back on. He's
Don't
got
get me
it.
wrong. I have big fucking holes in my ears. I have plugs, right? I've had multiple colors of hair, right? Like and whatnot. And the reason why you see me change my look or whatever, I'm comfortable myself. Like my look does not define me. It's the other way around. But I do, like sometimes I find that, like, and it's unfortunate that, like, especially ultra liberal, not just mildly liberal, mildly conservative. Well, you can tell mildly conservative, but mildly liberal, still sexy. But ultra liberal, I find that it's almost like too highlighty, and it's a little bit to me an indication of an ego, kind of a high ego quality that I don't know if I'm about, because I don't know that even people in my circle that I had were not defined by their piercings or their plugs or their tattoos. Like I have a chest piece, but once again, like, whereas, if they were fucking conservative women, yeah, I think, in my experience, at least the profiles I see, yeah, the conservative women are just fucking sexier, in my opinion. But I didn't used to feel that way.
Okay.
And it maybe,
Okay.
and it could be because maybe, I'm getting older, I'm getting, my daily life, it's, in a professional
You're
setting,
more conservative.
Not at all. I don't I don't believe in tribalism, or any isms like I think that actually similarly it allows you to suspend critical thinking just because it's easier to just pick this tribe, right? I think life is more nuanced than that, and by polarizing ourselves, we're not actually we're limiting ourselves a lot from other experiences, growth, right? Like, similarly to, what I used to tell my mom, I'm like, there is no better culture, right? Like, whether it's Latino or American, they both have their merits. There are facets of each culture that one is maybe better than the other, right? But I don't think overall it's a hodgepodge. So I think ideally you pick the best things out of each of them that you want. So, for example, ultra liberal people will be like, "Oh, guns bad" or whatever. I'm like, "Have you ever shot a gun?" Like it's super fun, right? So I don't think I think these ivory tower judgments without experiencing, like politicians or scientists making like decisions on what your average human does without actually being part of that population, is an elitism that I don't particularly like. So like I am I'm open to it.
Yeah. You're a populist.
Yeah.
I don't mean that with like a... Do you believe in prisms?
No. I'm a geologist by schooling, so are they a thing? 100%. Yeah.
Prisms?
Surprisingly,
We said in like isms.
Oh.
yeah.
That's pretty dumb.
I may not look like it, but I am actually a scientist. But in another life. So yeah.
That
Conservative women wouldn't date me either. They want to deport me, on the other side of the border,
That's true.
that could be like a fun...
I'm actually considering just, like going to Catholic church on Sundays just as like a dating technique, Like, I'm not a religious person whatsoever, but I like Catholicism because it's a religion that's easiest to ignore, because there are so many rules that nobody can actually follow them all. So it's like, fuck it, like, and worst case scenario, if you fucked up big time, you just say sorry and mean it before you die, and you're Gucci, baby, like, so, and I feel like it'd be easier to find like a kind of a heathen Catholic that doesn't really care about religion,
Not actually going to church.
Well, sometimes
or
they go with
mass.
family,
I
sometimes it's just a
guess, but-
community thing. Then finding an ultra liberal person. For example, I would raise my children Catholic up to a certain age, kind of like how I was raised, so that they can just tell her to fuck off later on. but as a tool, right? It's not bringing. It's like, who the fuck's this? Fuck you. That is like, well, like a little bit. I think having a little bit of guilt in the back of your head is effective for your development as a human being. And I think it'd be easier than finding an ultra liberal person that would be willing to make that compromise, because it's not about the belief in God or religion. It's really more about a societal framework, that can be used.
I think Catholics are also the most willing to just slough their religion for like. My dad was Catholic and married a very devoutly Protestant woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, I don't give a shit about any of this anymore. He's like, whatever, it gets me laid.
Exactly. Like Catholics, you're able to just fucking say fuck it, like, and if you ever feel different, then the door's always open,
Yeah.
like. Yeah. How do you? Like, I feel like you have a lot of lot of ideas about this.
Well, my dad particularly is very religious or spiritual, but also religious. And I had to go to church like every Sunday growing up. Very.
Well, what kind of religious is he?
Presbyterian.
Oh well, yeah. That's why. If
But
he was Catholic, he'd be like, "You can stop going."
Yeah, he loves Jesus. He loves God. He loves to pray.
Yeah.
He loves to get me to pray. Or not so much anymore. But I was like going through a rough time once, like in my early 20s. And I was like obviously struggling. And he was like, Emily, come here. Let's sit down on the couch next to me. We're going to pray together. And he dead ass like bowed his head and closed his eyes for like a solid minute straight. And we were praying together.
Wow. Yeah. See,
It's
Catholics
a
don't do
lot.
that. Christians do that. Like, and fully I agree with you. What you said, Craig. It's like, because after a certain age, Catholics are like, whatever the fuck I want to do. Like, if I really fuck up my life, I'll say sorry later. Like. And that's why I am aware that I could be biased, but from my experience, it's like it's the chillest, like.
Yeah, I like Catholics.
Not when you're a
'cause
kid, but when you're
they do
older.
the exorcisms. They have
Oh, that shit is metal.
I feel like they have like the most. They do have like the most metal like iconography. Is that
Yeah.
the right?
But they also have
they're
scientists.
Like,
Like they have
with
astronomers.
the cross, they can just be like,
They're like, yeah, you fucking look at that fucking guy hanging. He died for your sins, you piece of shit. So you better feel guilty.
That's the church I want to go to. That you want.
And they got their little Jesus beads, It's like they kind of have like the coolest stuff, and then they got the like incense things that they swing around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so many rules that nobody can fucking follow them. So everybody's a fucking heathen. So I think people are just like, oh fuck it, like I'm flawed human being,
How fast can you say the Lord's Prayer?
Oh no, absolutely not. I don't know. Why?
Do you know it?
I'd need someone that's like the Our
who art
Father.
in heaven, no.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
it's a little speaking in tongues.
I wouldn't bust that one out on a first date.
Oh, I do it every time. I'm like, before we enjoy this Waffle House, we should just take a second to say the Lord's Prayer as fast as we can. Ready, go.
Hell yeah. Well,
I went to this like manners camp when I was.
Oh shit.
I don't know. I don't think that's like what it was called, but it was like I think I was like 10 or 11 at the time, and it was like in Eastern North Carolina, and we were out on like a peanut plantation. It was this old like plantation house. And there were like, I don't know, 12, 11-year-old girls, and they were like, you're gonna learn how to do etiquette. And,
Oh god.
like you had to dress up and like play
curtsy,
tennis.
It's like a debutante
It was
thing.
crazy. I was also a debutante.
Are you serious?
Dead ass.
Holy shit.
I know.
Are you okay?
I mean, no, like obviously not.
obviously, that's why
got
she's
some
non-committal
tattoos
until her
and, like-
30s, Like,
God, look at me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. I've heard some things about it not being a good time for anyone.
I did the bare minimum. So,
Okay.
and my mom's pretty cool, but she's really into like the debutante. I don't know why. She's like really into like you met her. Like, would you have guessed she was like
not at all.
very into
Your
debutante?
mom's super chill, I like her a
Yeah,
lot.
but
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like very into etiquette and like it's more of like my grandma. It's like my grandma's influence, but yeah.
That generational shit.
Yep.
My grandma had Alzheimer's, so I didn't get any of
Mine
it.
too. Oh my gosh.
And just in case I forget, because in case we're out of tape, tell me any shows that you're running into the cameras. Are you in any shows coming up or anything people should check out that you want them to check out?
No.
Yeah, no, we can continue chilling, but I think I'm going to run out of hard drives.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
you host a show?
I do. Thanks for reminding.
Literally.
On the 13th, there's a show at Haw River that I'll be performing at. Should do this with more enthusiasm. On the 15th, there's a charity show for the Poor People Foundation. It's a real foundation.
That's the name of it?
It was a Poor People Unity Foundation. It's terrible. It's a great organization.
They should have just called it the Hobo Foundation, you know?
I think MLK started it, actually, so you can't be critical of it. And that's going to be on the 15th at Steel String Brewery, which, segue, is also where I run my monthly show on the last Saturday of the month. Come check it out. Come check it out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And how about you, Emily? What do you got to plug?
I don't have any shows going on, but if you want me to be on a show, I'm available.
Yeah, she's very funny.
I'm funny as hell.
Yeah,
Book me.
And hopefully they can see you co-hosting other pods on this network in the future because you were great.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, I got that out of the way, just in case I ran out. You know, we're cool to chill. I'm having a good time. You know, that wasn't meant to be a cap on it. You guys can sorry that I.
Well, now you've ruined it.
I've ruined it. Yeah. Well, I only had fucking.
Anyway, Greg was about to show
on
me his Tinder profile, and we were gonna edit it.
Yes.
No.
Come on, be a good boy.
Okay,
I'm
read
telling you my
your
bio
Tinder
right
profile
now.
to us.
Yeah, read us the bio.
Hell yeah.
Show us pictures.
Yeah. Vulnerability is good, man. You know,
Yeah, truly.
that is where the real shit is. That's where the richness is.
Let's get into it.
By the way, have you run into Greg's profile as you've been Tindering?
I don't think so.
Have you run into her profile while you've been Tindering, Greg?
I have.
Oh, yeah. Did you like me?
He did. Of course he did.
I said you was super like.
No, you didn't. No,
Yeah,
you didn't, because I haven't seen it.
I did it.
No, you didn't. Just
I swear
now?
to God, no. Not just now. How the fuck would I do that?
I don't know.
All right.
By the way, that is not Greg being sunburned. That's him just blushing right now.
Oh.
I once dreamed I was a pterodactyl soaring through a prehistoric sky. Imagine my disappointment when I awoke to find I was only a PH human. Just a human with a P in front of it.
Oh. Well, it's like you have to read it to get the joke.
Yeah. It says writer, academic, comedian, bartender.
What does it say? We can't hear you.
Writer, academic,
Yeah,
comedian,
say
bartender.
it. Say it proud. Say
Say
it
it
loud.
proud,
Say
lady.
it proud.
My interests are literature, comedy, active lifestyle, mountains, and backpack. I need to change mountains. I'm not that into mountains. I mean, I like them as a concept.
I'm into mountains, beaches, and plateaus.
And then my Spotify anthem is The Bomb by New Young Pony Club. Original version. None of that remix
I would
shit.
just take out your anthem. I think it's weird. I don't know.
I don't even have a Tinder, so maybe I should
Okay.
get one.
I
I
like
don't
having
know. Whenever I see the anthem, it's always like you're picking one song to be your anthem. I just think I'm just gonna go with
a-